everybody. Welcome to our first ever Match Day live stream on the Seasiders podcast. Just found out we can do this. Give each other around. Hey! There we go. So joining us on this momentous day, our first ever Match Day live stream is Nick. Good afternoon, Nick. Good evening, isn't it?
Yes, good afternoon, John. How very exciting. I was just thinking I look a bit orange. I think it must be the lighting. I've not had makeup especially for the show, but I've trimmed my beard, so yeah.
And those curtains are normally closed as well, aren't they?
They are. Yes.
This whole room's, this whole backdrop's lighter as well. I look very white as well. I think I need a holiday. I think I need some of your orange makeup, Nick.
Yeah. Donald Trump.
His band on Twitter, so he's trying to join StreamYard.
We got a Match Day live for you.
Bit orange.
So you've got me, Albino. You've got Nick as an Oompa Loompa. Matt, a very trim-looking Matt, if you don't mind me saying so, Matt. You're a nice normal shade, actually.
Yeah, putting a few pounds on, though, it has to be said. You know, Christmas has been and gone, and lockdown's back in full effect. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit chubbier come the end of the season, I would have thought. But it's good to see Tango Man back from his Premier League days.
You need a hat and a wig, Nick.
Yeah.
You've been on a sunbed, have you? Come on, you can tell us. Come on.
Hand on heart.
Good afternoon, Tom. Anyway, how's life down in East? Is it Suffolk where you are? Deepest north is Suffolk.
Yeah, not too bad. A bit gloomy weather as usual, but yeah, went for a nice walk this morning and ready to kick off today.
Cool. Right. Welcome to everybody on the stream. Actually, I've just seen we've got 46 people on there already. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gary Ford. Welcome to Jordan. Welcome to Matt Hold 4. If you could pick any player from the last 10 years to take a pen for Blackpool, who would it be? Take a pen.
Charlie.
Missed a few, though, didn't he? Missed a few.
Gary Medine, the way he hit that last one against
true.
West Brom.
Not so much. Not so much for free kicks. Yeah. Right, anyway, Blackpool are playing Brighton and Hove Albion today in the fourth round of the Cup. Afternoon. Richard, how's it going? Good. Thanks for joining us. So, everybody, just before we go on about the team news, we'll just give you a brief overview of the format of what to expect from this show. So, you've got us lot arsing around for 25 minutes before the game, maybe doing a bit of match stats, that sort of thing, looking at the team lineups. A few minutes before we go to kick off, we're going to be flying over to Fielding Towers, where we're going to get an alternative comms from Sam and Tim, maybe a bit from us at half time, and then we've got the normal 6:06 show at the end. Just a bit of an FYI for everybody watching the live comms show after this. If you want to pause your stream that you're watching of the match and try and get it synced up with Sam and Tim, because obviously we're going to have issues watching it at different times and what have you. So Sam and Tim will be doing that for you. So just to be aware of that. But now let's just move on to the team news, which has been released at about 2 o'clock. I'll just get it up on the screen about there. So, gentlemen, obviously coming into this game, we've just seen on Twitter that 5 players have been tested positive for COVID. So I think, Tom, come to you first. That's had an effect on this lineup.
Yeah, I just tweeted sort of when it came out that a few players have been chucked in at the deep end. I think you've got Williams, who hasn't started for a long time. It's good to see Virtue and Robson in the centre. It'll be interesting to see how they play in the absence of Dougal as well. It's an interesting one. I'm worried a bit about centre-back with formerly hasn't played God knows how long. So, yeah, it's an interesting one with quite a mixture of experience and youth in the Brighton side as well. But it'll be interesting to see. It's kind of a free hit in the FA Cup. We're not expecting to walk through this match, are we? So I'm looking forward to how we play in a new formation as well. I'm guessing it's going to be a 3-5-2. I don't know how you feel, but...
Come over to you, Nick, next. We're missing a few key players as well, aren't we?
We certainly are. I mean, obviously, they haven't released the names of the players have tested positive, but by a process of elimination, you can probably work most of them out, and it's going to be a tough test. Interesting that we will, like Tom just said, probably go a 3-5-2, which is something we've been talking about on the last few shows, isn't it? So that probably is a bonus that we'll get to see that formation. But it's going to be tough with the players who are out. Like Tom said, you're chucking Thornley in. Hasn't played any sort of football for a long time, and the bits he did play did look a bit shaky. So that's going to be a bit of a worry at the back. But yeah, we'll see. You never know. It's the FA Cup. Anything can happen.
I think they can, Nick. Matt, over to you. Your views on this lineup. I think we've all agreed that it's going to be a 5-3-2. Would you concur with that opinion?
Yeah, I can't really see. I was trying to work out how possibly a 4-4-2 might work, and the only thing I can think of if he goes down that route is playing Matty Virtue possibly on the right hand side of a 4 with Garbutt on the left, and then MJ Williams and Robson in the middle. But I can't see that. I think Brighton do play a 3-5-2, so I think he's probably going to match up to their sort of formation. But it is a shame that obviously, COVID plus injuries plus a couple of players have gone back this last week, and that we're obviously a little bit lighter than we would like to be in normal sort of circumstances. But it is the cup. Anything could happen, and as Tom said, it's a bit of a free hit, isn't it? So it might just be a case that we'll possibly introduce 1 or 2 off the bench that haven't had any game time and are obviously new to the club and the surroundings.
So we've got a decent comment from Webby coming in there. Great experience for the young lads on the bench. Tom, you're nodding your head there. Matty Holmes, one of Tim's boys. What an opportunity for him. I believe he's a tricky winger as well. So it'd be great to see one of these young lads being chucked in.
Yeah, versatile official, as you said, with Holmes can play up front and play on the wing as well. I really hope they get some game time, especially Holmes is scoring like a madman in the youth team, and he'll be having lots of confidence as well. So I'd like to see him get some game time. Whether we're winning 2-0 or maybe on the other side losing. I think it's vital that if they're a part of the team, they get on the pitch as well, especially in the Premier League stadium. It will do them the world of good, and he'll potentially be able to show what he can do for the first team, because no doubt COVID will strike again and some way through the season, and he'll be ready to sort of step straight up. Yeah.
So Steve Hutchinson's also saying, hope young Holmes gets a go. I think we all agree with that. Nick, the bench, Wojciech, Teddy Howe, I've just noticed that, at Marietta, Sarcic, Kai, Labala, Holmes and Sims. Nick, Kai and Labala on the bench. So
yeah, it is a little bit when you look at who's missing with, like Matt said, COVID and injuries, etc. But I think the players who he's picked probably suit that the formation that he's going for, which is why he's picked the players that he has. Obviously, we've got Sims on the bench. Is that the lad from Everton? Yeah.
I've seen him start, to be honest. But when you're playing 2 up top, what can you do? Can we?
I think one of the reasons is not starting Labala and Kai as well. We play Tuesday, don't we? So I think he's reserving them a little bit as well, because it's another league match on Tuesday that he wants to start winning the league as well. So
we've got Garbutt and Gabriel on I guess, there's two very attacking fullbacks and wing-backs, Matty Alford said there. I think we've been a proponent of this on this show, gents, haven't we, in the past? So it's good to see. It'd be interesting to see what happens with these two.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to be really the creativity, aren't they, of the side, looking at what the 2 lads, presumably the 2 lads up front, are going to have to sort of get some sort of supply from. With respect to the other lads in midfield, in the centre 3, I think they'll be a bit more solid. So I would imagine that, Jordan Gabriel and Luke Garbutt will be hopefully bombing up and down both flanks.
Bombing up and down like this. Right, let's just move on to the Brighton lineup just before we go. We've got a graphic there. Now, I don't know if anyone knows these players, but I certainly don't. We've got Walton, Webster, Dunk, who's the captain, Bissoma, McAllister, let's see, Tay, Proper. He sounds like a proper player. Gary Byrne, hang on a minute, I'll just get this off. Byrne, Veltman. So, has anyone heard of any of those players? What can we expect, etc.? Tom, I think you've got a bit more knowledge of the Premier League, haven't you?
Yeah. I think I said to Sam pre sort of start of this. I think they'll go 3-5-2 as well, but we're just trying to work out who's going to play up front and who's going to play on the wings. But the back three are certainly one that would start in the Premier League. So Webster, Lewis Duncan, Dan Burn 6'7". So Medina's going to have a good battle with him. I don't see Burn playing right back, so it was arguments they could be going 3-5-2, but 5-3-2. Sorry, but I think they're gonna. I think Burns but they're going to play three, and then the two wingers are going to come in. And I'm just not sure who's going to play up front. They've got some really quick lads in there as well. McAllister started their last Premier League game as well, I think. So there's definitely some experience in there, and some hungry sort of youth players as well. So tough match, but I'm looking forward to see how that midfield three sort of cope with them. The only thing that bothers me is Thornley at centre back. The rest I'm kind of looking forward to seeing too. So.
You've just took the words out of my mouth there, Matt Nick. I don't know who wants to come in, John Thornley, and what you've just seen there.
Sorry, I'll jump in first. Sorry, mate. I mean, Thornley is obviously, how can I put it? He's been underused. He's obviously been out of flavour and favour for pretty much since Critchley day one. So, and a couple of times that I have seen him play, which I vaguely recall being possibly an EFL Papa John's type of game. Yeah. And I had the privilege, such as it was. I don't know if it was his debut. I think it might have been Gary Medina's debut down in Oxford away last year. And he just, unfortunately, a bit prophetic, but he didn't sort of fill me with much confidence then. And
did you say
maybe I'm
prophetic or pathetic?
Well, you could put either word in, quite frankly, couldn't you? But he didn't fill me with much confidence then. And I'm no footballing coach, obviously, but I had my doubts back then, and unfortunately, he's not stepped up to the mark, as he, for whatever reason. Maybe he's just a lazy boy in training, but a couple of players have obviously got the nod ahead of him in normal circumstances. So we'll just have to see how he copes, because at the end of the day, he's in the window, isn't he? So he's got to get himself either a good career at Blackpool or a good career somebody else.
Nick, over to you. Jordan Thornley, surely he's drinking at the Last Chance Saloon. It's a great opportunity for him to grab, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But I think I saw, I don't know if it was in the Gazette, I'd seen something from Critchley where he'd pretty much said him and Teddy Howe can go. It's just, they're just waiting for, I think, the right offer to come in. So I think when it does, even though he's playing today, unless he has an absolute blinder and can turn it round, I think he may still well be on his way. I mean, it might delay things slightly with what's happened with COVID today, the news we've had, because we are going to be short of players. But they're only playing because we've really nobody else to play in that position. I mean, if you look earlier in the season, he's been on the bench, and he's not, when we've been short centre halves, and he's played husband there, hasn't he? Ahead of Thornley. So
where's husband going to play then, Nick? Do you think he left in the front three?
Three, I think. Yeah. I would imagine.
I just noticed a quick comment from Tom Johnson coming in there. Could Garbutt be in front of the three? Tom, you're nodding.
He could be. He's played there before in previous teams, so I don't see it being that way, judging by the way the team feels. But you never know. It quite possibly could be with the midfield three. We'll have to see when we sort of kick off, but hopefully he's going with formation that we've suggested. I think it will make us a bit more solid.
And Matt, apparently you're playing halftime entertainment with your guitar.
It's in its rightful place on the wall, believe me.
Decorative piece of art. We've just been having a conversation off air. Saying, well, what should we do at halftime? Should we just put a graphic up, or shall we come in because we're going off and watching the game? But I think we've nailed it now. Matt's going to be doing a rendition of my little stick of Blackpool Rock with his guitar. Fortunately, no ukulele available.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was my midlife crisis. I couldn't stretch to a new Harley Davidson, unfortunately.
Right, so that's team news, John. Let's do a bit of chat about head-to-head. Now, interesting stats came out in our research. Blackpool have won 10 times. Brighton have won 10 times. And there's been 10 draws between the clubs. Uncanny. Now, can just address the room now. Has anyone got any memorable games against Brighton?
I went to the Goldstone on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. It was just after we'd won away at Stoke, I think. Remember Trevor's last-minute winner past Bruce Grobbelaar.
Yeah.
The league. And then the following Tuesday or Wednesday, it was Brighton away. And I went on, it was the club coach. And Trevor put us 1-0 up in the second half. And they, when I say scored with the last kick of the game, literally, I'm not sure we even kicked off afterwards. It might have been Kurt Nogan as well, from memory.
He always scored against us.
Yeah, he went to Burnley, didn't he, as well? Yeah. Yeah, and they equalised 93rd minute or whatever it was. And it just feels like a defeat, doesn't it, when that happens? And then you've got 7.5 hours on a coach home. I think I pretty much got home. I was in work the next day. Got home, had a shower, and went to work. So, yeah, that was...
loyalty, Nick.
Yeah, I think did every game last season. But I didn't go to the with Dean, and obviously not been to the new one. I don't know if Matt or Tom have been to those grounds.
Yeah, I went to, someone just mentioned in the comments there, 2-2 away. One of the hottest away games I think I've been to, and that's when Kevin Phillips did an interview midweek on the official site, and he said it was one of his most memorable games for Blackpool. He scored a header to make it 2-1. I think it's like the 90th minute he scored, and we all sort of bundled towards sort of him and Craney, etc. And I grabbed Craney's head and I gave it a kiss, but little because it was so hot, I got a mouthful of his sweat, and I just went. And
Tom, you couldn't do that in this day and age, could you? You get a mouthful of
but opposite to what Nick said, I think because we scored so late, we were out of the stadium celebrating like we've just won 3 points, and it was a decent point away at the time as well. So that was probably my most memorable game against Brighton.
Matt, Brighton.
Yeah, I was at the same game as Tom, the 2-2 game. I'll be honest though, I don't have much recollection of it. I was hammered. You don't go that far and stay sober, do you? Surely.
It's a big away day, isn't it, Brighton? We've just had a message coming in from Coach Critchley. Trust me, lads, I know what I'm doing. Moustache. That cold wood. Well, yeah, absolutely, Neil. Absolutely. You don't want him to be getting the credit and all that.
Oh, dear.
That's quality.
It's nice to hear from him this week, wasn't it? He actually did an interview, so first time for forever, I think.
Who, Calderwood?
Yeah.
I thought I missed that. What did he say?
Yeah. Just a bit about the club and what he's been doing behind the scenes and stuff. And we haven't heard much from him, have we? So it was good to see him.
Yeah. Okay, back to the match itself. We've had a compilation of fans' predictions for the game, so let's move on to that section now. We'll just play this clip of fans' predictions, and then we'll go and make our own before handing over to Sam.
Finally going to click. 3-0 Blackpool. Jerry Yates first goal scorer. Up the pool.
My prediction is Brighton 1, Blackpool 2, with a Jerry Yates penalty.
Excuse the filter, it is needed. I think it'll be 2-1 Blackpool, first goal, Medine.
Hi guys, I'm predicting a 2-1 defeat with Medine to score first for the pool. Up the pool.
Prediction for tonight is 3-1 to Blackpool, Yates first goal scorer, and up the pool.
Hi, my score prediction for Saturday, 2-1 win to Blackpool, with Jerry Yates getting the first goal. Up the pool.
My score prediction is a very narrow Blackpool 2-1 win. I think Brighton might put out a weakened team, having a very important 6-pointer against Fulham midweek, and also only being 5 points off the drop with a couple teams behind them with 2 games to play. I think we'll see another York and Cole masterclass in the FA Cup with Kenny Dougal pulling the strings in midfield, and I think Jerry Yates will get first goal scorer.
Oh, that music's all emotional, wasn't it?
Tearing up a bit there.
Oh my God.
Nick's makeup's running.
Like Rudy Giuliani.
There's a white ear appearing.
Oh dear! Tears of the clown, eh?
Yeah. Thanks. Firstly, thanks to everybody for sending us those videos. It's great to get some fan interaction going on. Everyone seemed to say 2-1, which is what I was going to say as well. But let's go around the room now. Give us our predictions. If you're on the stream, drop your predictions in the comments, and we'll address those. So, Matt, let's go over to you first. What's your thoughts on this game, given the team lineups for both teams?
Sorry, mate. Was that addressed to me? I was just dripped it out then.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was. Right, thanks. Prediction-wise, I think we're just going to struggle, aren't we, given the lineups that we've had today? So I'll be realistic, and I think we're probably going to lose by a couple of goals, really. But I'd like to see us get on the score sheet equally. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 home win, which I know is negative, but there we go.
Dose of realism there, Matt. Tom, over to you. What's your thoughts on this?
I put 2-1 in the Super 6 to the Seasiders. However, seeing that starting lineup has worried me a little bit. So,
no, you have little faith. This could come good to us because rewind your minds.
I'll stick with it.
Rewind your minds back to the last pod, and we've been talking about this 5-3-2, haven't we? Bombing on with 2 wing backs. So, am I going to change your mind, gents?
No, stick with 2-1. I'll go 2-1. Medine to get a scrappy first goal, and we'll hold out in the last minutes for an onslaught. There we go.
Nicholas, a.k.a. The Don. How's life at Mar-a-Lago, by the way?
Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely.
You come to me.
My way.
I was going to go for a Blackpool win prior to the COVID news. I don't know. I just think it's going to be tough.
We don't know what we're up against as well, really.
No, we don't. That's the thing. I'm going to go 1-1, and then we'll get beaten extra time. Heartbreaking, I know, but I think it's going to be tough.
I was going to go 2-1 prior to seeing the team news, so I think with Dougal and Ward missing, it may be a bridge too far. So I'm gonna flip that round and take it to 2-1. So yeah, 2-1 to Brighton. Let's just see what the listeners are saying. Steve Hutch 1-1. Joe Ross 2-2. Richard Henshaw 2-0. Sean Booth 3-1. Brad Motherwell 3-2. Webby 3-0. Bob Heaton 4-2. Jordan Fleming 2-1. AMAC 3-0. Bison just said we can't keep a clean sheet with Thornley and Husband at the back. So hate to say it, but it's probably right, gents, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be when we listened and watched Kieran on was it Thursday night, wasn't it? And
Thursday night, yeah.
He was saying that they're pretty up until the final third, and they don't seem to have anything, at the top end of the pitch, which we hope is going to be the case today. But then they're not coming across our back 3 or 5, are they? So every week they're coming across obviously much better players. So it will be interesting. I do feel as though it could be a little bridge too far for us today, but I'm an eternal pessimist, and I'm never disappointed if we do well. So that's the good side of it.
Right, we're just going to head over back to Sam and Tim shortly. Just before we go, let's just have a very quick look at the FA Cup this afternoon. It's a big day in the footballing calendar, isn't it? It's 4th round FA Cup, so we've got Barnsley facing Norwich, obviously us away at Brighton, Millwall, Bristol City, Sheffield United, Plymouth, Swansea, Forest, West Ham, Donny, Cheltenham Town and Manchester City. So obviously, gents, it'd be great to get into the 5th round, and there's some nice little matches there. Cheltenham, Man City. I think that'll be a bit of a rout, won't it?
Should be.
Yeah, I think it will be. And obviously, Arsenal have already gone out. The holders
I missed that. What happened? Oh, right, yeah.
1-0 Southampton, yeah.
Yeah, Plymouth could be an interesting one because they're in a bit of form, and obviously Sheffield United are struggling, aren't they? And you would think that it depends how they approach it now. Sheffield United, they could just think, right, well, the league is obviously a struggle, but we could actually concentrate in the cup. But equally, I think Plymouth could pull a bit of a shock off there.
So how's everyone feeling about the cup? Are you back in love with the FA Cup, or is it just because we're in it?
I think it helps when you're in it, doesn't it? Because it just gives you something to look forward to. we've had so many years of, well, not being interested in cup results really, or league results to a certain extent when the Oysters are there. So it's nice to be any match, whether it's the Pizza Cup or the FA Cup. It's just nice to be interested again, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Right, gentlemen, we're going to go and retire to our relative sofa, our sofas downstairs. We're going to watch the match. We'll be handing over to Sam and Tim very shortly. They're going to do the alternative comms, so we'll see everybody on the 606 show, and we'll be handing over to Sam and Tim very shortly. So see you later, guys, and up the pool.
The pool.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you're listening to the Seasiders podcast from. I'm Sam Fielding. I've got my dad, Tim Fielding, with us. Tim, obviously fourth round FA Cup day today. Blackpool travel to Brighton, a fixture which I probably would have gone to, not COVID, but it's a fixture that excites you, potentially getting into the fifth round of the FA Cup.
Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity for Blackpool. Obviously, as we all know, in recent years, we've struggled to get beyond the early rounds of the Cup, and a good cup run would be great, particularly bearing in mind everything fans around the, Blackpool fans all around the country having to put up with at the moment with COVID, not being able to get to the games. The more games we see live on TV, the better.
Obviously, before, I know John and the team have touched on it before, and the fans have maybe listened to this before, but your thoughts on the team. We'll go through it again just to remind fans: Maxwell, Gabriel, Ekpiteta, Thornley, Husband, Garbett, Williams, Virtue, Robson, Medine and Yates. That's the starting 11. Obviously, key players missing in Dougal, Ward in there as well. So, bar those two players, are you happy with the starting 11?
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly COVID affected, isn't it? In addition to the two you've mentioned, we've also got Turton missing as well, and Ballard, Ward, as you said. So it's going to be a tough one for us today, but it's a great opportunity for those who've got the shirt, and also very interesting to see our new signing Sims on the bench, and also some of the lads from the youth team as well. So we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, playing Premier League opposition is tough at the best of times, but when you're playing effectively with 4, 5 of your starting 11 missing, then it's an additional problem that we're going to have to cope, see how we do. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, if everyone, I know John's repeated what we're saying, but if you're watching the game on BT or a live stream, we'll try and keep up to date with the time we're on. We're just looking at the Brighton and Hove Albion team now, 4-3-3. It looks like they've gone for Veltman, Dunk, Webster and Byrne, the 4 defenders, Walton, the goalkeeper, Alzate, Bissouma and David Proper in midfield, with Tau, Zakiri and McAllister will be the 3 attacking players for Brighton, with their benches: Sanchez, White, Mupé, Trossard, Gross, Moda, March, Saunders, and unfortunately I just missed the last one off, but confirmation of the Blackpool team live on the screen if you're watching BT Sport Extra 2 live. It has gone for that 5-3-2 formation, which is a formation that you've talked about on previous shows.
Yeah, I felt it actually suited the system, and particularly if we're going to get Virtue back in the starting 11, which he is today. I think it's a system that will suit him. And I also think when we've got a full strength team, we've got 3 fantastic centre halves, of course, and only one of them playing today. And I think, if you're going to play the best players we've got on the pitch at any one time, that 3-5-2 is something I think we should look at. And we'll see how we get on with it today, and see whether it's something that sticks in Critchley's mind perhaps for other games in the league.
Yeah, I've had a few comments in here. Jordan is saying a great pre-match show. Christopher saying today is the day. Could this be our year? We'll have to wait and see, but it looks like Robson will be taking the kickoff for Blackpool. It's not sure if it's everyone's stream or just our stream. The game's a little bit laggy, but players going on their knees for the Black Lives Matter and Equality campaign that we see on a regular basis. So both sets of players are on their knees, and the referee will be blowing his whistle very shortly. And we are underway, so we'll try and keep you up to date with the tie. But it's Blackpool who look to go long and direct to Medina, who wins the initial flick on to Yates, but he can't quite get into that one. A good positive start there from Blackpool, and Medina coming up against a tall centre-half in Webster and Dunk. It's going to be a key battle, that.
I think so. I mean, when we spoke to Kieran Maguire on Thursday night, he spoke about Brighton normally playing with 3 centre-backs. So it looks like they've got a formation change again today as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt to that, and whether we can take the game to them at all.
Brighton were obviously, as Kieran alluded to, much the possession team in their own third, middle third. But when it gets that final third, they lack that little bit of quality, which we've just seen on the screen there. Jez left a comment in just saying, thoughts Tim came across well on Football Focus this afternoon. A great little piece on Blackpool, that wasn't it? Showing a bit of a history of the town and also what I guess the fans see, that what the football gives to the community, and that obviously being back with Simon Sadler, it's a huge positive for the community, club and the area.
Yeah, it was a good piece. I thought the guys from the BBC did really, really well with it. And if anybody hasn't seen it, then look out for it on iPlayer after the game.
Yeah, we are 1 minute 16 seconds in here. Medina's just got the ball, looking to switch it to Gabriel, the right full-back or wing-back this afternoon. Just can't quite get onto his pace there, but it's going to be Brighton who bring the ball forward 1 minute 30 into the game. Neil Critchley, Tim, obviously not the best start in management after his 2 games last season before COVID interrupted, but he seems to be finding his feet now, a bit more confident in front of the media and obviously wanting to adapt that kind of style of play that he did at Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think, you've got it, for me, you've always got to build at the back, and we've got obviously a couple missing today, but we've got a really strong back line now, and I think that's hopefully will give them the platform, the management team, to build on some very positive performances that we saw in November and into December.
Yeah, we've got to remember that VAR will be used this afternoon at the Amex Stadium. Due to it being at a Premier League ground, it will be in fruition if needed. I saw a few Brighton players put the hand up for James Husband maybe touching the ball with his hand there, but the referee hasn't signalled anything, and it's going to be a Brighton corner. It's 2 minutes 30 on the clock. Got to say, Blackpool, ideally, Tim, are going to try and keep the door shut for as long as they can, but maybe take it in segments of maybe a quarter of the game. Let's try and get past that bit. Can we get to half time at 0-0 or even grab a goal? How do you think Blackpool will try and approach this one?
Yeah, we've got to try and make sure that we stay in the game into the second half, and particularly on corners, we've shown some vulnerability. So let's hope that we can set up right and make sure that we clear our lines.
Ball, Wits in the box, free header. It's just over the bar from the Brighton centre-half. Lewis Dunk, the captain this evening. A great chance, you have to say, for the Seagulls to go ahead. Just watching the replay, not marked well by Williams there. And I think the keeper just has it covered here on the third replay. But, Tim, that's a huge letter for the Blackpool, isn't it?
I thought I'd been a bit prophetic there for a minute with my comments beforehand. And that it is worrying, isn't it? It's very worrying that in a scenario like that, we're not picking up the lads who are coming in at the back. I mean, he's obviously there to captain's a big lad, and we've got to be better than that.
Try and move the camera, make sure we're both in shot there. 3 minutes 36 played. Brighton 0, Blackpool 0 in the fourth round FA Cup tie at the Amex Stadium. Like I said, it would have been fantastic to get down there, but it's a loose ball that's tried to flick around, and Pateta's caught napping there with Brighton really looking to get on front of the ball. Basuma now back out wide to the Brighton fullback, who looks to try and get a cross in there, and I think it's Garbett that managed to get a foot in. But you have to say, Brighton, you're always going to be the side that keep possession and wear teams down, but it's that final third that they've been lacking, and Kieran and many Brighton fans on Twitter were talking about. But nice intricate play on the edge of the box, but they have to go back. 4 minutes 20 played at the Amex Stadium as Blackpool try and press, looking compact at the back, not allowing too many gaps going forward. Byrne on the far side, 6'6" centre-half / left-back. Not very often you see that type of player playing in a left side, do you, Tim?
No, it's. I'm looking at this at the moment. As you said, Kieran Maguire was warning us that they played a possession game. A slight concern with us is we don't look too comfortable on the ball ourselves at the moment, and we seem to be a bit too keen to get rid of it. And this is where players like Dougal and Ward, I think, really could have helped steady the ship. So we need Robson and Williams to really get a grip in there and try and just bring a little bit of calm to the way that we're playing, because it's looking a bit ragtag at the moment, and you got to worry for the way we're going to be playing if we continue as we are at the moment.
Certainly are. The offside flag, 5 minutes 20. If you're watching the stream, you might have to pause your audio, or if you're happy to be out of sync, you can do that. But we are just 5.5 minutes into this fourth round tie in the Emirates FA Cup. So if you can sync it up, that'll be even better. So we're not shouting down the mics when there's a goal and you're yet to have the attack in play. But it's going to be Maxwell who goes long for the Seasiders, looking to Medine against, I think it was Dunk there, trying to challenge him down. But Walton, the goalkeeper, calmly passes the ball out. This is what Brighton will do. And if Blackpool can capitalise on a few mistakes, which they look a little bit nervous there, Tim, that can maybe try and find an insight. But this is where Brighton could have got the ball further quicker, in my opinion, but very possession-based, isn't it, for them in the opening 6 minutes?
Yeah, very much so. I think, Medine and Yates have got a big role to play for us today. The two very experienced players. Just seeing Yates there, he's done a great bit. He needs to be put through there. Come on.
Medine through 18 yards out, left-footed strike. It's blocked by, I believe it's Dan Byrne on the far side, but it's Husband now with the ball. Garbett hugging the touchline on this left side, or the near side where the camera is. Again, Husband does superbly well, calm and composed until that final pass, but it's Blackpool who still have it. Is it going to be a throw-in? I think it has been. A great chance there by Medine, 6 minutes 14 to the game. A good chance that ball maybe could have been played ahead of him, but a good move by Blackpool.
Yeah, he just needed a bit more pace on the ball, didn't he? And as you say, just 5 or 10 yards in front of him. But it was the point I was making before, that our forwards have a very, very important role to play today, because they're the first line of defence, and we've just seen there with Yates' interception that it could be very important in relation to the chances that we create for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. The Brighton manager, head coach, is looking to try and improve on his 5 wins in all competitions this season by getting one against Blackpool this afternoon, towards the bottom of the Premier League table with a 6 points, you have to say, on Wednesday at home against Fulham. Fulham definitely improving in terms of their form recently. A good result in midweek, and actually not a good result. It was the one before, actually. Man United managed to pick up a 2-1 victory, but they played a lot better against Spurs. But it's Byrne now on that far side, looking for that little bit of movement from his players. But Basumo closed down by Gary Medine, not allowed to move forward. 7:50 played here in the FA Cup tie. Still 0-0 between the two sides, looking for that running behind, but it's not found, and Brighton will try and keep the ball wearing their blue tops, white shorts and blue socks. Blackpool all in tangerine. Thought they might have gone for the white kit, but referees are very funny about maybe shorts clashing as well, just due to linesmen or officials seeing things. But it's Brighton losing the ball there, and Robson, I think it was, trying to close him down, but chance here for them to get forward. I'm just going to move out of the seat, because last thing we want to do is have the TV turn on standby. There's always technical issues on the Seasiders podcast, no matter how prepared you are. 8 minutes 43 played. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Great to see over 60 of you still inside. If you get your comments in about goals, incidents, we'll try and answer as many questions as we can during the stream. Neil Critchell again is first touching the ball. A good chance, Tim, for some of the players to put themselves in the shot market. We've seen, we'll come back to that, maybe a chance for Gabriel. He chases down there, but the keeper, Walton, manages to clear it. But some players that maybe on the fringe, Thornley, and a few players on the bench, we've seen Howe play a few games this season, but it's a chance for them to show the head coach why they should be in this Blackpool starting 11.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. Obviously, we're seeing Thornley playing today after it was reported in the press during the week that he was free to look elsewhere. And, it's a great opportunity, I think, for him to show Critchley that he's worthy of a place in the team. Well, certainly he came to us with a pedigree, and it's always been a little bit bemusing that he hasn't been given more of a chance. So Jordan's got a great opportunity today, so I'm hoping he's going to take it.
Fingers crossed there. McAllister, the Brighton forward, just can't manage to keep the ball in play on that far side as the long ball by Byrne was played into their channels. You have to say Marvin Ekpiteta has done really well there to shield the ball out and not managing to keep it in for a Blackpool throw right in that corner. And it's Yates. He looks to try and keep the ball. He just bounced off his knee, I believe. And I don't know if he's laughing at the referee or a player. Why are you playing it in the air to me? Again, when you've got Medina and Yates, you've got two players. One who's going to come short and one who's your target man.
Yeah, I mean, both are looking sharp. Both look like they're up for the game today. And Yates in particular is going to be troubling those defences. One little slip, one little loose pass, and he's snapping at the heels.
Brighton in possession here with Proper. Not got many options to go forward, and that's a huge credit to Neil Critchley and how he's lined up this Blackpool side this afternoon, hoping to reach the 5th round of the Emirates FA Cup with another upset against another Premier League side. But it's Veltman now on this near side, but Husband to close down the fullback on this. I think it's Tau, the number 22 for Brighton. I think it was 22. A new signing, but Veltman does well there just to get past Garbutt, but playing it into a trouble there. And Husband does superbly well with his defensive duties. And someone with Husband there, you've got a versatile defender who can play as a full-back, but quite comfortably in a 3 in the back. Well, playing the back line when there's 3 there.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few issues with Husband earlier on the season, haven't we, with the cards he was picking up. But, he's a reliable defender, and I particularly actually like him in the back 3. I think on that left-hand side of a back 3, he does a superb job.
Oh, maybe I thought it looked a little bit loose there from Webster, the right centre-back of the 3 for Brighton, as Gabriel looks to close down, but there's gaps now that might open up for the Premier League side as Proper tries to find the number 10 for Brighton. I'll try and find his name very shortly. As they look to try and switch the play to Veltman on this near side. He's got Tau to his right, but options in the middle as well. He looks to pick it out. Good touch. Good defending, though, by Blackpool, and it's Basuma now looking for that gap. 20 yards from goal. Not the best strike. Quite wide from the Brighton midfielder there.
Yeah, I thought we defended well, to be fair. We were closing down. That's what we want to see from our defensive midfielders and centre-backs. Don't give them the time to shoot. And I'm quite happy with the way Blackpool dealt with that.
Definitely. Again, in this formation, Tim, when you've got wing-backs or full-backs, whichever you want to call them, are pushing up to close down their players, you've got the option for a midfielder to step across or the right or left-sided centre-half to step in as well. You've got cover in there. So it's a good tactic by Neil Critchley. And
I think particularly with Williams, he's a very defensive-minded player anyway, and I expect him to hopefully give a lot of cover for Garbutt and Gabriel so that they can push forward. I mean, I think we noticed early in the first few minutes, we had Gabriel, really pushing right on into their half. And hopefully we're going to be seeing plenty of that as the game goes on.
I'm sure we will do. Blackpool, as we said before, line up with a back 3, back 5, whichever way we're going to look at it, with kind of the 3 or 5 midfield and Medina and Yates up top as Blackpool look to try and keep them in their own half. And it's a Husband header which finds, I think it was Robson there, and Garbutt wins the second ball, but the control by Yates isn't there. And Virtue now, wearing the number 17 shirt for Blackpool, looks to keep possession here, and it's Gabriel on that far side. Finds Ekpiteta. He looks to bring the ball to Thornley, the left-footed centre-half. I think he is left-footed, to be fair. And just a look at the possession stats there on the screen if you're watching it. 13:45 played in this game. I think it was 75% possession to Brighton, but they've not done anything with that possession, and that kind of goes back to what Kieran was saying on Thursday on the preview show.
Yeah, it does. I think you're always going to see the home side, particularly one in the Premier League, dominate possession. Not at all surprised by that. What's going to be important for Blackpool is what we do when we get those chances. We've had one already, albeit half a chance for Medine. Next time we've got to make sure that we get a shot off and get the shot off on target there, because we aren't going to get as many chances as we would do in a normal League One game.
Good chance there for Brighton to take the lead, just head into the 15th minute. It's going to be a either a Tau or a McAllister corner whipped in on the Blackpool left side. It's a ball whipped towards the 6-yard box. Again, a free header by the Brighton defender. Tim's got to get tight to these defenders and at least make them work.
That's 2 out of 2, isn't it? Where effectively they've had, obviously on that occasion off target, but it is worrying that we're just not picking that up. The big lads that are coming up, and we've got to make sure that we match height for height. And maybe this is one where Medine's got to come back and pick up one of their guys there. And I would say Marvin's got to be the other one. But yeah, we've got to work on that, and we've got to work on it quickly.
Long ball over the top, which Medine is going to battle Lewis Dunk for. It doesn't quite win that one, and Brighton try and play through it. I've got a comment in here, Matty Live, saying, how are you watching it? We are watching the BT Sport Extra 2 stream. So if you've got BT, you can watch that. I believe you can also buy the game on iFollow. I think it's just this season clubs are allowing fans to watch the FA Cup due to not being able to go to grounds. Otherwise, previously not been able to do so. If you can watch it on there, I think it's £10 on iFollow. You can watch the game for that price and hopefully see the Blackpool reach the 5th round. But it's just coming up to the 16-minute mark in this match. We were looking at, obviously, head-to-head before, 10 wins, 10 draws. Sorry, 10 wins apiece for each side and 10 draws. The only stat I was seeing that Blackpool win on pairs compared to Brighton.
Yes, and FA Cup final appearances, of course.
See if one team can make the 11 wins. But it's a strike there by Basumo, who's closed down, and Tau's just the quickest to there, and it's Veltman on this right-hand side, but he's closed down by Luke Garbett, the Blackpool wing-back, left midfielder, should we say, and Maxwell clearly picks up the ball in his penalty area. Looking at obviously internationals and players, we were doing our research before that Brighton, maybe not in this starting 11. Thought it might come here to Gabriel. Thought it might have flicked through and a possible foul there for Blackpool. We'll come back to that international stat shortly as we. I'll let you know when we're hitting the 17-minute mark in the game if you're streaming with us, and it's great to see still so many listening in. So if you've got any comments, as I said, do leave them down. We'll get through as many as we can. And Tim, this is a great chance for Blackpool to really put pressure on Brighton.
Yeah, you're hoping Garbett here is going to, obviously we've seen his set play deliveries, how much it adds to our attacking play, and we need a good ball in here, and we need to be looking for Medine or Yates or Pateta really for me. And let's hope there's something coming in that we can make something of.
I've seen him shoot many times for his days at Ipswich and other loan clubs where he was. He can strike the ball from this range, but it's whether he puts the ball in the box. 17:40 on the clock. It's going to be Garbett with a left-footed strike. It's a great strike and an even better save. You have to say by Walton there, and I didn't expect that, Tim.
No, well, no, neither did I, to be fair. But obviously from the games you've seen him play before, as you said, he's got a decent strike on him, and that's a fantastic shot, to be fair.
That is going in. The keeper, again, the keeper's got to save it, but it's at a decent height for him to parry it away, and that's the quality that Garbett gives Blackpool. Is at 18:10 on the clock. Corner, to Blackpool. Whipped in again at the near post. Not the best one, but it's Comfort Williams on the edge of the box. Gabriel, just a touch there and possibly free kick. I wasn't sure with his follow-through. But it's going to be a Brighton goalkeeper to kick this long to try and find Town. He doesn't manage to win that one. And Thornley, not the best clearance, you have to say, as Brighton pick up the loose ball about 25 yards from goal. Tau into Basumo, the central midfielder, who looks to go out wide, and it's going to be Garbett to come and close down the angles on the cross. Back to Tau with his back towards goal. Brighton just knocking the ball around well with David Proper. And again, you actually look Brighton go forward. If they get you at pace, you think you're worried, but by the amount of time they go back and look for that possession pass, Blackpool are regrouped and ready to counter.
Yeah, we've got to try and I think just we need to be a bit cleverer in possession. A couple of times now we've got hold of the ball, and then we've put it bluntly, we've lumped it forward rather than trying to keep. And again, this is where players like Dougal do such a good job for us. And we need Robson and Williams particularly to be thinking about that and thinking about how we can take pressure off, because otherwise it just comes back at us again, as we're seeing now.
Brighton looking to get forward, but Blackpool pushing up the field to really put on that ball over the top to give Maxwell the chance. We've got the Aussie legend listening to the stream all the way from Australia. He says, how us guys doing? We're doing great, thank you. Even better if Blackpool can get themselves into the next round of the FA Cup. And how do you know? Can I watch it online? You certainly can do. If you head over to Push Blackpool's, obviously their website, head towards the iFollow link, and you can pay £10 British pounds for the service, and you get the commentary, and you get certain replays, and you will get the different angles due to it being at Brighton's ground. So definitely worth the package, or just listen to us. That's what I would do instead. I've also got DJ Mafax. He's here for Tau. He's watching for his Brighton player who's playing on the right wing for them. But back to the game, 20:27 on the clock. Brighton corner. Hopefully not a free header for the Seagulls, but it's whipped into the box again. Dunk gets the ball there, but Blackpool a little bit closer to their attackers this time round. But it's going to be Brighton who pick up the ball for a throw-in just inside their own half. We'll see what can go on. But that's that we were talking about before. Brighton have 8 internationals in their current squad, Blackpool 2. But the 2 of those players, Ballard and Gretchen, aren't even in the squad today. Then we don't know if it's due to injury or due to the COVID test that were announced about an hour before kickoff. Just hope it's, well, injury-wise, not bad. And again, if they have got COVID, we wish them best in the recovery.
Yeah, we do. My gut reaction is it probably COVID-related. I think we're all expecting, particularly Ballard and Dougal to start today. So, yeah, best to them, and hopefully a speedy recovery.
MJ Williams there, winning Blackpool a free kick just outside the 18-yard box. It's a player, MJ Williams, we've not seen much of in a Blackpool shirt, but having seen him a few times at Rochdale in my previous job, he was a player that has the ability to break down play and do bring others into it. So we'll see how he gets on today against the Premier League side. Again, great to see so many of you in the stream, and we hope you can stay tuned, and we'll try and announce or tell you the time so you can sync the audio as much as you can. But we've just hit the 22-minute mark. Brighton 0, Blackpool 0. Maxwell in possession, but has to go along with from his reaction there and the camera angle we've got, not the best kick.
No, and with Maxwell, he's normally so reliable with those as well, isn't he? So quite surprising from him.
It's going to be a Brighton throw midway inside Blackpool's half. 22, I'll say, I guess we were a quarter into this game. Tim, what are your initial thoughts in the opening 22, 23 minutes?
I mean, it's probably gone the way that we thought. Brighton dominating possession. We're sort of feeding a little bit off scraps, but we've had one decent chance, which is encouraging. And as we know, we've got to just look out for their set plays and make sure that we're picking people up and we're not giving free headers. We've seen in too many league games where we've given away cheap goals where we haven't done the basics. So work on that, and I'd like to see us just try and settle things down a little bit more in midfield. Rather, we look a little bit rushed. Everybody looks like they want to get rid of the ball a little bit too quickly at the moment, and that's one area where I think we can just settle down a bit and hopefully, yes, we're playing Brighton, but play your own game, and basically, look to keep possession as much as you can. We need to get those stats away from the 75-25 and a bit more, maybe 60-40, and that'll give us a lot better chance of getting the result.
Lucky Mathonzi leaving a comment here, says, how is Percy Tau? From what we've seen, Lucky, obviously we're not Brighton fans, but he's looked lively, tried to get past a few Blackpool players, but not really had that chance in front of goal. And having read about him before, he's definitely that player who can excite Brighton fans. And I believe he's on loan from Anderlecht, so a good chance for him to experience the Premier League and a bit about Blackpool as well. But Medine now, great to get away from Veltman on this near side. It's passes it into Robson. Nice little 1-2 with Virtue, but he can't quite get past the Brighton defender. And Brighton come away with the ball. And we've been, I guess, in some respects, Blackpool have missed that player, Tim, who looked to break forward, makes that late run into the penalty area. And Virtue's that kind of player that can do that. And I think it was the last home game against West Brom where he came on as a sub and nearly scored within 2 minutes coming on. But he's got that player that can be that more attacking threat for the Seasiders.
Yeah, he's a great favourite of mine. I think he's somebody who will always score. 10, in the region of 10 goals a season, and that's something most certainly we don't get off any of the rest of our midfield players. Also, I was quite encouraged with the way that we approached that last attack. I thought we were doing what I was hoping we'd do, and just putting our foot on the ball a bit more and finding feet. And let's hope we can carry on with that.
Realise I've had just my name on the stream, so I'll change that to Tim and Sam. 25 minutes in the game. Loose pass there, which somehow manages to find Veltman on this near side. 25-10 played in the cup tie between the two seaside resorts as Brighton looked to find Byrne on that left side. A little 1-2, which wasn't very good, and a push in the back there by Byrne, who tells the referee some strong words, which we could repeat on here, but we're not going to. But Gabriel there just, I was going to say use his experience, but he does enough just to go down and win his side a free kick.
He went down a bit easy, didn't he? To be fair, I can sort of empathise a bit with the reaction of the Brighton attack there. To be fair,
got a message here from Xavier, a little bit away from the game, but he asked, "What's the best football moment you have been to or witnessed following your team, i.e. Blackpool?"
Yeah, I mean, most of us, I think it's got to be the 2010 playoff win, hasn't it? But I have to say, on a personal level, I felt that the Forest away fixture in the semi-final is a game that I'll never forget for all sorts of reasons, but particularly, the way we played was probably as good as it ever gets.
Certainly does. I echo the words, and I'm sure the many Blackpool fans that are in the stream will echo the wise words from Tim there, as proper. The Brighton midfielder looks just to link up the play in midfield and sets Veltman free on this near side. A little touch to Tau, wearing the number 20, I think it's 22 shirt. I can't quite tell, possibly 23. I'll confirm that shortly. But Brighton, again, when they get in these areas, they're not looking too threatening, and Blackpool forcing them back, whether it's 5-10 yards. They're doing a job. But Basuma now, yards out for the box, and wow. You have to say that's a wonderful strike just on the 27th minute mark. He hit one earlier, Tim, that went miles wide, but that one was top bins.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think Maxwell, looking at Maxwell's face, he might be a little bit disappointed with himself there, I think. But it was a great strike, and it's one of those where, perhaps we could have closed down a bit quicker. I mean, he comes inside, doesn't he? And
wow.
And we just lost he lost Robson completely. And no, sorry, it's Virtue, wasn't it? Lost Virtue completely.
Take nothing away from the finish, though. Just look, he's angled that, hasn't he? Where he's kind of inside of his boot, swerving away from Maxwell. It's I'm sorry, but no goalkeeper, Premier League or above that's saving that. That's it's kind of speechless. Really.
Seeing it second time, perhaps my first comment was a bit harsh on Maxwell. It was top draw finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jonathan, your brother's watching, Tim. Quality finish, he says. Elbow says, my favourite game was going on an FY8 minibus because I was drunk. I'm guessing he means the Nottingham Forest game. And Henry Woodsford just said we cursed it, saying how well Blackpool have played in the opening quarter of this match. But I'll just make sure that all the graphics are on as we're in the screen. Yep. Those kind of strikes, Tim, that when you see players at this level playing, Basuma was a regular in the Brighton team on Premier League fixtures, and he's had two shots, one which was well wide, and the second one is just connected with so well that no one's saving that. Yeah,
I mean, listen, that's where the Premier League quality comes in, doesn't it? And it's in scenarios like that they're able to, he almost seemed to put that on a postage stamp, that shot, didn't he? He knew exactly where it was going. It wasn't speculative by any stretch of the imagination. And sometimes you've just got to take a step back and applaud a very good goal.
Certainly do. Attempts, looking at Blackpool have had 3 attempts, 1 on target. Brighton have 6 and only the 1 on target. And that is the only shot on target has resulted in the Premier League side scoring the opening goal in this fixture. But many fans have gone for a 2-1 Blackpool victory. So those who predicted that still on course. But a ball over the top there just eludes Ekpiteta. But Maxwell reading the game well there, that he can come and pick the ball up and not allow McAllister to get forward. But from your point of view, Tim, what do Blackpool need to do now? Is it a case of keep playing your football, we'll have a few chances to get back in it, or do we keep it steady and keep ourselves in the game?
Yeah, we as I said before, it's all about being in the game as you go into the second half. What we don't want to do is to be going in at half time 2 or 3 goals down, and keep ourselves in it. The chances will come. We will probably get them. They may tire. I think we heard, again, speaking with Kieran Maguire on Thursday night. He spoke about how Brighton would dominate possession for 60, 70 minutes, and then they start to tire. And if we can keep ourselves in the game and get our chance, a draw will do for us. If we could, take that chance, nick a free kick that we can do something with, penalty, whatever it might be, but just keep plugging away and keep the mistakes to a minimum, because the difference is between League One and Premier League is that they will punish mistakes, every single one, and that's what we can't afford.
Definitely agree, and they've got to be patient, Blackpool. And again, when Brighton have got the ball in these areas, you don't need to tire yourself out by pressing, but we're 30 minutes and 35 seconds into the game, so if you're a little bit ahead, you can always pause it and try and sync up with us. That's the idea for alternative commentary. Having known that the BBC Radio Lancashire team haven't travelled down to this game, unless they've worked ways out by working officially for the club, they will be using the Brighton, or I think it's West Sussex area, the BBC. So hopefully you can listen to some knowledgeable Blackpool fans, shall we say, in here. But Jacko just found himself offside there. Looking at, obviously, FA Cup history, we'll come back because the flag seems to be down unless the second phase of play. There are flags going up for offside on Gary Medine. But looking at Brighton, they've progressed from 13 of the last 15 FA Cup ties against sides in lower divisions to them, although they were knocked out last year, I believe, by championship side Sheffield Wednesday. That's a stat as a Blackpool fan going into this game that you're a little bit worried about, I guess.
Yeah, and I think also when you look at Blackpool's record against sides from the top division, until the third round, it hadn't been great, had it? I mean, I think the last time we beat somebody from the top division was in 1976. So, there was always going to be a tall task today. We played fantastic against West Brom. And if we can pull something off today, then it will be it will be something special.
Chris Harrison says, "I'm slightly behind by 5 seconds. Can you pause?" Unfortunately, we can't pause just at the moment, but we'll maybe work towards that in the second half, as we've just clicked 32:20 on the clock. Brighton in possession on the far side. So, Chris, again, huge thank you for listening in to our first Matchday live show, where we hope everyone enjoys it, and there's 80 plus in the stream, which is absolutely fantastic. So a huge credit to you guys for putting up with us for a 2 and a bit hour show. But obviously Blackpool, they're looking to reach round 5 of the FA Cup, gone through the stages. Round 1, Eastbourne Borough 3-0 win, Medine 2, Yates 1, and then 3 weeks later played Harrogate away, a 4-0 win, a Falkeringham own goal, a goal from Ward, Gabriel and Kemp, and then obviously the last game against West Bromwich Albion, which finished 2 apiece, and then penalties, which if anyone was in our household or could have seen our household, should I say, it was I want to use a cliche, a roller coaster of emotions, because you think Kaikai's going to score, send us through, doesn't, and then we're relying on a keeper save to help us out.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you want in the FA Cup as well, isn't it? You want to be out of your couch and dancing around the living room, and that's what we were doing, wasn't it? So it was a fantastic game and a fantastic end to the game as well. The interesting, I didn't realise, but Brighton and Blackpool, quite remarkable stat really, have never played each other in any domestic cup competition. This is the first time, and that's quite, when you're bearing in mind how long both teams have been. We've played each other so many times in the league, but to never have played in the cup is quite a remarkable statistic.
Definitely is. I think the first time, the year that the Amex was open, Blackpool were one of the first 2 to 3 teams to go there. And I think Blackpool did an interview with Kevin Phillips this week about going there and scoring. I believe, if I've done my research right, that he scored 2 late goals. I think, one in the 60th minute and then one in the 90th minute to send Blackpool fans home with a point, and the scenes I remember, well, wasn't there, but seeing the highlights and fans' reaction, it was a great day out. But it's a great ground we've not been to, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's one of those bizarre ones for me for a variety of reasons. I've just never actually been. I think every time we've played, there's been some reason why I couldn't go. So it's something I'm, particularly when we get back to watching the football, I'm looking forward to taking a trip there because, the stadium looks fantastic. It's it's on an out of town, but it seems to be in a very nice location. And of course, I believe they put some nice beers on for the away fans, local beers and things. So I'm sure some of the lads and lasses on the stream will have been there and can tell us what a great experience it is.
Yeah, if you've been to, Simon Hargreaves says Chizzy and Brett are commentating for Radio Lancs from the studio in Blackburn. So I'm obviously listening to you guys. Simon, thanks for the kind words, and hopefully we can get some players' names right as we go throughout, and I'm sure there'll be the odd hiccup from us, but no, great to have still so many of you in the stream, and any comments, any questions, we'll try and answer them when there's a bit of a quiet period in the game. But Blackpool looking to go forward, but Husband can't keep that ball in play, and he looks very angry with themselves, and having worked to him at Fleetwood for a season, I know he does set very high standards, just sometimes not in the yellow and red card department, does Husband. But yeah, it's Brighton at 1, Blackpool 0, just coming up to the 36th minute of the game just then. Brighton in possession just inside Blackpool's half as the ball switched to Veltman on this near side, and it's up to Garbutt. He gets tricked out there with the header behind the side, and Town now with his back towards goal. Good strike again, and just goes over the crossbar. And I think there might have been an offside there with the referee's hand in an upright position. We'll have to see what he does if he just strays off there. That's tight then if he's blowing for it.
Yeah, he was a bit unlucky there. Garbutt got done well and truly there, didn't he? And he's got to, just step back and make sure that you don't commit in the way that he's done then, because that could have been quite damaging.
Blackpool looking just to keep possession. Again, you've got to be wary of these Premier League players. The difference between the two, as Tim said before, is vastly different in terms of the pace, how they read the game, and we saw that a little bit yesterday with Chorley's wonderful performance against last year's European team Wolverhampton Wanderers. A stunning strike, just like Basumo's in this game, separated the Premier League side to the National League North side at Victory Park. So see if Blackpool can go on better and beat a Premier League side here, as Town now on this near side with Veltman looking for options, and a one that's played through, and looks like Williams not followed his defender, and it's a wild cross striker across the 18-yard box and out for a throw-in. But that's the difference, isn't it? You've got to stay switched on, and I'm not sure. I think it's Williams there who just doesn't follow his man there, Tim.
Yeah, and they've got to be a bit disappointed with that, because he's got himself in a fantastic position, and if he just pulled it back to perhaps the edge of the area, there are players coming in Brighton and they could have got something out of it. So I think it's a little bit of a let-off for Blackpool, that.
Yeah, certainly agree in terms of a let-off there. Touches, all Brighton, Dunk 56, Webster 51, Byrne 49. They're all defenders, and Veltman's the fourth one with 42, and Basuma, the goal scorer, with 30 touches. So even that stat there just shows how much Brighton will keep possession in their third and the midfield third, and try and wait for those gaps. They've got pace to exploit, especially with Shaqiri and McAllister there, but it's the Shaqiri now strike from distance, but it goes wide of Maxwell's right-hand post, and slightly ambitious shot there.
Yeah, but it's Brighton are really dominating at the moment, aren't they? We really need we need to grab this game by the scruff of our necks and try and get ourselves back into it, because I think it's the first time the camera angle's gone towards the Brighton goal in the last 5 minutes when Medine challenged up there. Then we really need to get hold of it. It's just coming straight back all the time. And again, as I mentioned, Medine and Yates and Virtue, we've got to try and nick in and keep hold of this ball for us.
I guess I was looking at the formation, that when you've got playing five at the back, or the wing back goes high up, you've got cover in midfield, but at the same time you need those full backs, the attacking midfielder in those three to push on, because last thing you want to do is leave the front two, Medine and Yates, isolated and battling against defenders that are foot plus.
Yeah, and we're seeing a bit of that, aren't we? I mean, the weakness sometimes of this of the 3-5-2 is it very easily does become a 5-3-2, and like you say, you just haven't got the players further up the park. So we've got to work on that, and Virtue. We need Virtue to try and get himself involved a little bit more in the game, maybe, and make sure. Again, I come back to the point: we've got to keep, when we get hold of it, because it's not happening very often. We've got to keep possession.
We certainly do, and that's what Brighton are doing well. Just to let people know, I'll let you know when we hit the 40-minute mark. I've just hit the 40-minute mark now, and it's still the same scoreline. Brighton 1, Blackpool 0. Watching the live stream on BT Sport Extra 2. And many people were watching it on iFollow, paying and supporting the club, which is absolutely fantastic. So a credit to those who have done that, and obviously I think it's 70 or 80% goes to the club, the rest going to the EFL and iFollow. So again, anytime we can support our teams during these tough times due to the pandemic and COVID, we should be doing that as well. Because again, coming back, I was going to touch on the owner, chairman, Simon Sadler. Again, he's been in charge now for well over 12 months, maybe edging towards 2 years. Is it not 2 years, is it?
It was June 19 when Simon took over.
So 2 years, which time flies, really. How do you think he's assessing? Obviously, I can't read his mind, but how do you assess kind of his time at Blackpool? He's obviously had a lot of players brought in or signed a lot of players this summer to help Critchley, but you know him a little bit. He's very ambitious where he wants to get this club to. But at the same time, you've got to take those baby steps to get the foundations in place to really push yourself up into Championship and who knows, maybe one day the Premier League.
Yeah, I think he sees it as a long-term project, this, and I think the appointment of Critchley is a reflection of that. As we saw at the start of the season, bringing in so many new players is very difficult to bed a team in. I think what we have got now and what he'll be very pleased with is the fact that we've got such a strong defence. And, we've got the makings of a very strong midfield pairing. As a club now, what we need to do is I think we need, probably where we lack a bit is in the creativity department. And I think that's where we need to look. And, but yeah, I think he'll, whilst the league position isn't fantastic, we've seen a lot of that is down to the way we started the season in August and September. Mm-hmm. And, if we look over the last 3 or 4 months, things have been a lot more positive.
Virtue trying to run forward. And I think Byrne just clips his heels there as the former Liverpool youngster looks to try and get on the ball. I'm not sure if it's been given, but Ekpiteta with a lovely ball down the wing, and yeah, his arm's just on his shoulder again, very similar to the one on the opposite end when he kind of a little push in the back on Gabriel. So a set piece, I think, for Blackpool again. And what we will do, if people are listening, we'll try and pause our stream. We're watching obviously live on the BT box, so we'll try and catch up in the second half. And but do remember to stay on the stream. It's a full match day experience in the Seaside podcast. John, the team will be back at half time for their thoughts on the opening 45 minutes. But can Blackpool get one back here? Garbutt's already troubled the goalkeeper Watson, but from a very different area. I think he's going to pull this one back personally, but we'll have to wait and see. 42-53 on the clock here. Can Blackpool get themselves back into it? It's pulled short to Medine, I think it was, and not the best effort, you have to say. Never connected with it, did he? Really? And that was just
no. The move was good. It was the right idea, but just a bit disappointing. It was a very underwhelming shot to finish the set playoff, wasn't it?
Medine. Oh, I thought he was going to pass to Gabriel, who made a fantastic run on the right side, but he was probably blind. Medine in terms of seeing him in the corner of his right eye, but a great chance for Blackpool to potentially go into the half one apiece. And as we're talking, the sunshine and the snow on the Fylde coast, which we don't see too much outside our window. It's don't know what it's like where you've been in the country, whether you're based in Blackpool, the Fylde coast, or Australia. From the comments we've had in the chat, it's been a bit of a mad day, to be fair, in terms of weather, but it's not sticking anymore. But Blackpool in possession, 43-55 on the clock. Marvin Ekpiteta on the ball finds Thornley, the central defender of the three, finds Garbutt. Back to Husband, who bit of a loose touch and allows him to get forward. Medine with the chest here is going to be so important with that one. And Yates makes a good run to his side. And unfortunately, that's kind of just summed up Blackpool's attack, where they've looked to go forward and looked to have maybe a 2-on-3 situation, but it's just kind of not fell fortunate for the Blackpool attacks, and that's a prime example hitting the heel of Yates.
Yeah, and it is a bit disappointing again with the free kick with Gar, but these are the chances that we need to make count, and because they aren't going to come on a regular basis. But a bit unfortunate there, and I think you could see the frustration on Yates's face. He'd made the right run, the ball was good, and just clips the back of his heel rather than runs to the side of him, which is would have seen him well, may not clean through on goal, but most certainly in a very, very good position.
Yeah, Brighton now just says there's about 5 seconds to go until the 45, and we'll see if the fourth official has any time added on. There's not been any major stoppages, so I expect just the 1 minute, but I could be wrong. No, I'm predicted that one right for a change. As just 1 minute of additional time to be played in this game, and proper just taking the sting out of the first half as he goes back to Webster, Brighton's number 4, who picks out Dunk. Now the captain for the Seagulls, as Burns now on the ball, looking for that runner McAllister, and Jakiri just making that third man runner. I think it was him, or it was Alzate, I think it was on the far side going there. But if you're the Brighton manager, are you a bit frustrated with your team that we've not really looked dangerous in the final third? But again, that's a common theme of their season so far.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think he's going to be too disappointed. They've scored a good goal. They haven't had that many chances. Probably that's where he's frustrated. At half time, he'll be saying, we've got to get in the box more. They've had a couple of scenarios.
Ball in the box. Chance! Get in there! Come on.
That's what we were looking for.
Apologies for anyone in the thing, but that's a good move. And I just thought Blackpool were...
That's just what we wanted when Medine, we spoke about Medine and Yates having a big job to play today. And, great ball in on the left-hand side and a fantastic finish.
I thought this back heel wasn't enough for the defenders to get across, but that's put into such a dangerous area. And fair play to Medine. I think, just watch this replay, just gets in front of the defender, Duncan. Dunk's brave got him with his head there at that level. But what a fact, that's what the link-up play between, I know it wasn't Yates and Medine, touching the ball at obviously different times, but the whole move and the pull back of the cross and the little flick.
Great awareness from Yates to see that where Garbutt was, and Garbutt had to hit that ball first time, otherwise it'd have run away from him. And all the way through there, we've had 3 clinical decisions made by 3 important players for the Blackpool side. First the little back heel, next the first time cross, and a very, very good finish from Medine. And could that have come at a better time, Sam?
I don't think it could have done, to be fair. There was chances coming, weren't they? And the first time they've actually linked up, we've seen Blackpool kind of, I think there's 3 chances they've maybe had. They've scored the third one, which is fantastic. And I've now put some comments on the screen, but Jonathan Fielding says, get in there. Fat Goat, Sacco, always have to read that carefully, says, get in there. Chris Harrison and Jordan Fleming say, get in. So Blackpool level 1 apiece at half-time at the MX Stadium as Brighton opened the scoring with Basumo in the 27th minute of the game, and Gary Medine, the goal machine, scoring late on in that opening 45 minutes to get that in. And whilst you wait for some others, we'll bring in Matt. Again, Tim, if you want to go for a drink or stuff, a bit of a break, but we'll bring Matt in if he's ready. If he's not looking at us, I won't bring him in the stream, but that's completely different team talk now for Neil Critchley. At half-time, he's maybe thinking, just keep going, plugging away. We're creating chances here, but now he's going to encourage his players to maybe go out in the second half. Not like we've seen in recent weeks where it's a slow opening 10, 15 minutes, but it's a completely different team talk.
Yeah, I mean, that half, there's things we can work on, there's things that we can improve on. But, we spoke, didn't we, about making sure we took our chances. And we've done it, and we go in level. On possession, most certainly not deserved. But in an FA Cup game, when you're playing a Premier League opposition, it's always going to play out this way. And this is the way that we can potentially get a result. We've got to do now is make sure that we come out in the second half switched on. We have a bit of a reputation, Blackpool, in recent weeks and months of starting very, very slow in the second half. And what we don't want to do is come out and undo all that good work that the 3 players we spoke about earlier have just done for us. So, we want a tight 15, 20 minutes. They may start to get frustrated from there. And we've then got the potential opportunity maybe to snatch another on the break.
Definitely. Well, that's our kind of halftime feedback. I'll just wait until we get the heads up from the rest of the group. I think they're all ready. John's slouched on the sofa, as I can see behind the scenes there, in his red chair. Thinks he's on this time with Alan, doesn't he? But we'll head over. We've given our halftime thoughts, but again, great to see so many people with us on the stream. Over 80 of you joining it, but we'll leave you to it. We'll have a break, and we'll be back for the second half.
Au revoir, Sam. Nick, can you hear me?
I can indeed, yes.
My AirPods. Yeah, you're gonna laugh at this. Guess what I did for both goals?
Have you done a Smith? Unbelievable.
I've seen him on replay. The first one, I was gagging for a drink, so I just thought, I'll go and get a quick drink. Nothing's happening here. I said, put the kettle on, and I've heard like, striker, put like a legend.
Yeah, it was a hell of a strike. I don't know, if you're being critical, you could maybe say, I think, was it Virtue was near to him? Maybe could have closed him down slightly quicker. But I think sometimes you've just got to hold your hands up and say, what a goal. And it was Maxwell with no chance. Absolutely fantastic strike, you've got to say, and probably deserved as well. I think we were sitting back a bit, weren't we? We hadn't really got forward much. They'd had a couple of chances from set pieces. I meant to mention when we were doing the pre-match about Lewis Dunk. He is a bit of a danger from the back on set pieces for them. I think he had a header just over, and they had another one not so long after. So there were one or two warning signs there, and yeah, it was a hell of a strike, that's for sure.
So on the second goal, because I was too busy engrossed in watching the match, and I've gone right. I'm bursting for a piss now because I've just had a cup of tea. So right, I'll just have a quick one just before half time. So I'm there mid-flow. Oh, what a strike! And when you're mid-flow, you're thinking, "What? The stream and go and watch the stream." Like, well, if I don't.
So you've wet yourself as well.
Cool, yeah. Matt, but what a great strike though from Medine. Great build-up play as well. Little back heel ball in from, was it Garbett?
Yeah.
Can't hear you, Matt.
You're on mute, Matt.
Is he? No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, he's not on mute.
This is his mic.
I'll kick him off. Hang on.
Yeah, but I'll just pick up. We're back. Are you back on, Matt?
South Shore, can you hear me?
One or two technical difficulties, but yeah, like you said, John, it was a great move. I think it was Williams maybe who started it. Little back heel from Yates, whipped ball in from Garbett, and Gary Medine doing what he does best, and it was a great finish. Whether we deserve to be level, I don't know, but you take it all day long, don't you? I mean, we had that chance earlier on with Garbett with the free kick.
Yeah,
that he whipped in.
Was it our only chance of the half of note, really?
Pretty much, I think. Yeah. And it was looking like that's probably maybe only where we were going to score from. We were sitting quite deep, but part of that will just be because, Brighton are pushing forward and having a lot of possession. But yeah, take it all day long. They'll be disappointed because they probably feel they deserve to be one up at half time. But great boost for us. And
they've had that chance to go 2-0 up, haven't they? Where Matt, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Matt.
Right,
yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'll just have to log off and log in again or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, Nick's just said we were probably going in 1-0 at half time. Is that a comment you concur with? Because we could quite have easily been 2 down. That little pullback, and he's made a right dog's dinner of it, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I was in Sam Allardyce mode myself, and just thinking I'll be happy with going 1-0 down rather than just staying in the game for as long as possible. And I thought that was the way that it's probably our, I'm sure that's our game plan, really, just stay in the game as long as possible. And I thought at 1-0 down, we were, they didn't look like they were ever going to sort of carve us open, as you guys have mentioned earlier. It's all about possession for them and us concentrating on the set pieces and seeing what we can get, which is literally sort of scraps at the other end at the moment. But to go in at 1-1 gives us a bit of a fillip, doesn't it? Best time
to score. Best time to score. That's what they say.
Well, it is, yeah. And I was just going to say that we'll see how the halftime team talk is, which has obviously been pretty abysmal in previous games, hasn't it?
Just very quickly,
10 minutes.
It's just gone off screen. The stats were something like 68% possession to Brighton. Not a great deal. Yeah. They've had a lot of the ball, but they've not done much with it, have they? Really?
No, they're a tidy side, aren't they? You can just see why they're struggling though in the Premier League. They don't have that cutting edge, and I know they've got a couple, more pay, and one or two others possibly might make a difference to them. But we just need to be a little bit more proactive. I think when we're in possession, look after it a little bit better. I know Tim's mentioned that on commentary, which I've got to say has been fantastic.
I know. Yeah, let's just.
I've really enjoyed it.
I've listened to the first 20 minutes of it, and it was superb, brilliant. Also, well done, Tim. Well done, Tim and Sam. I can see them lurking in the background. But yeah, well done, boys. A little away from Tim there. Yeah, really good, really good. Second half, where do we see this game going then? Do you think I think whenever you score a goal that late, you're always tail up, haven't you? And it's great to score a goal at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had one or two games where we've started a bit slowly in the second half, so hopefully that won't be the case, and we'll be on the front foot, because I think if we do that, we can get at them and maybe sneak another goal. I think if we sit deep and invite pressure on, then I think inevitably we may end up conceding. So I think we try maybe get Virtue forward a bit more, making some of those box to box runs, get the full-backs pushed on and try and test them a bit. Like we saw for the goal, brilliant ball in and look what happens. So, like Jacko says there, the last 5 or 10 minutes, we start getting further forward in more numbers, and that's what we need to do from the start of the second half.
I think we've just got to be careful. We don't. Sorry, I was going to say we've just got to be careful. We don't go a bit too sort of gung ho, as it were. Not that I'm sure but equally, it's that fine balance of starting the second half well. But interestingly, you'll be seeing how the likes of Thornley, Williams, and the lads who haven't had much game time, how long they go after sort of 65 minutes.
Good point. How do you think Thornley's done?
It's done all right. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, he hasn't had much pressure against him. I think the midfield three are the ones that are, I'm sure when they look at the stats afterwards, they'll be the ones that will be pushing 10,000 metres being run rather than, sort of the centre half lads. But hopefully if we can keep sort of track of them, because that's where the open play sort of danger is going to come from, isn't it? They're going to pass us to death continually, aren't they? But it's just that final third. We've just got to keep our head screwed on, really.
I think one area of concern for me was down their right, our left-hand side. They were getting in behind us on a couple of occasions, reasonably easy. So I think Husband and Garbutt really need to. I think they need to be a bit more aware of that, and perhaps because they're not used to playing this system, they're not used to covering each other, kind of thing. And it's an area, as a Brighton manager, I might be looking to exploit that in the second half. I think we can do anything to counter that risk at all.
Yeah, true. I mean, we can be confident that we've now scored against a Premier League side, so we're going to be the one that's going to be sort of on the up, as it were, after the second half. But you just got to keep the wits about them, haven't they? Really, and like we said earlier, just make sure that the first 5 or 10 minutes don't go the way as some previous league games, really, and let's keep in the tie as long as possible and make it as interesting as possible, which is great. We've also
got Sims on the bench, haven't we? Who might be able to do something a bit different, maybe give it, 65, 70 minutes and perhaps get him on for the last 20. He looks quite strong and powerful, makes good runs from obviously we've only seen, YouTube footage and the like, but that's perhaps an option as well. If, one of the forwards is tiring a bit, maybe give us something a bit different up front.
Yeah, let's bring the field. Let's bring the fieldings in. So, boys, firstly, Well done on your comms. Ever so good. I thought it was absolutely superb. So well done. You've certainly earned all your corn. How do you think the first half went, Tim?
I thought, we did what we needed to do, which was to take a chance. And as we were saying during the game, if we'd gone in 2 goals down, which we could have done if that shot when the guy on the right did Garbutt, if that had gone in, we'd have been a bit disappointed going in 2-0 down. We've then come away from that and levelled it up. And, we're in the game, aren't we? And let's hope they tire like Kieran said they would in after about 70 minutes and give us a bit of a chance.
He did, didn't he? Maybe that's the time to chuck him some of the young guns on 70 minutes. Be a proud moment for you, Tim, to see one of your former players.
Yeah, well, if Brad out, I think he's probably more likely to bring Sims on than anybody I would have thought. If young Bradley Holmes gets a run out, I'll have a little bit of that grit in my eye, I think, because
Can you imagine what Phil?
10
Sorry, John. I can say, can you imagine what Phil would be like if Kai came off the bench to score the winner? My God.
We'll have to block him from the group if that's the case.
Garbutt's had a very good first half, and
that free kick was. We were thinking, he's not going to shoot here, is he? And then pulls off a fantastic strike and a good eye for the goalkeeper, I think, in terms of where he was. The ball actually hit the goal line, but still had to save it and parry it away. But I think we've looked dangerous when we've gone forward. Not many chances, but you only need that one chance to score, and we did that towards the end.
What about that set piece? What's everyone think of that? Because with Garbutt there, it was a nice angle for Garbutt.
Listen, to be honest, maybe we could do, but I actually thought the play was all right. It was just the shot on the end of it that let it down. And on another day, if Medine had smashed it, we'd have been eulogising about it, wouldn't we?
I mean, on the comms, they said it was played in slightly a bit too much behind him. I mean, my picture wasn't great. Was that the case? Do you think he should have just smashed it, or was it the ball into him wasn't the best?
I think it was a bit of a mixture. I think it wasn't hit with maybe a little bit more power maybe needed, but I don't know. I just don't think Medine struck it the way he wanted it to in terms of getting that connection that he'd have wanted it to trouble the goalkeeper at least. But again, we all knew it was going to be a tough game against Brighton in terms of obviously our 5 COVID positive test this morning or whenever it was done. So the players have been out there, done superb, and they're just seeing them come out and warming up for the second half. They've got nothing to lose, I don't think, and the tie's there to be won. And what we don't want to do is be disappointed that what if we've got to go out there and play our football and try and get the winner and see ourselves through to the 5th round.
Dave Jacko just said Garbutt has to be somehow in the team because of his balls, whether it's left back, left midfield, or wing back. Hard to argue with that, isn't it? I think we've said that in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, I think he's been the standout player for us. The 3 most interesting moments in the half, including our goal. He was fully involved with it all. So we've got to play him.
Well, our most important question is: hey friends, how do you think about new super duo players, Moda and Kaubernick from Nowie 2000? What the hell is that all about?
Well, I guess they'll. I know Moda's on the bench for Brighton, so he might be a player to come on the pitch. But it's great to see both Brighton and Blackpool fans in the stream. Yeah. We've had over 80 watching us from start to finish from half 2. So hopefully they can stay with us for the second half and see Blackpool take down another Premier League side in the FA Cup.
Right, I think we'll skedaddle. Tim, I don't know if you listened to what I've just said. I did a Smith for both goals, so I won't be.
Yes, I caught the end of it. Unbelievable. I've managed to stay awake for the game. You'll be glad to know. I've not had a cat nap today.
And Nick's de-oranged a bit, so and I'm still.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
I've adjusted the lighting.
Took some of that foundation off. Yeah, we're back on the way in our stream, so we don't know what you guys are like. We'll try and pause it.
All the best, guys.
But we'll get going. We'll speak to you later if you're on the show at full time.
Cheers.
Right.
See you later. Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Anyway, we are back and we'll try and pause it again. We've paused it for about 3 or 4 seconds, but it's 45-20 on the clock. Chance for Blackpool inside Brighton's penalty area. MJ Williams, he switches the ball to the far side with Garbutt, which we've seen a lot better crosses from him in this game. That wasn't his best ones, but obviously before Tim, we asked you what your thoughts were in terms of what the manager might say. And like I said, we've seen Blackpool in previous games not hit the heights in the early stages of the second half, and to be in this cup tie, they've got to learn from those mistakes and put in a shift in the first 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, what we don't want to be doing on 50, in the next sort of 10, 15 minutes is find ourselves, a goal behind again. We as I said just before half time, we've done the hard work, and we really need to apply ourselves, stay switched on, make sure that we don't let anybody get free, and we need to get to 60 minutes and then look from there, I think, as to how we can actually try and take the game to them.
Yeah, definitely agree. Some players to come off the bench with a bit of pace and quality, especially, some Blackpool fans might not agree with that statement when I bring up Kai's name, and Labala, who played well against West Brom in the last game. I believe that was the one I watched. See this incident here. I'm not Premier League striker going down with the arm across the face there, Virtue on McAllister, but Brighton will look to try and keep the ball again like they did in the first half and put pressure on Blackpool as the game ticks on. I'm sure fitness will be a big thing in this game come the last 20, 25 minutes or so. But it's going to be West Brom then. Brighton with the ball on the far side proper, looking for options, but has to go back to Veltman, who goes all the way to Webster on the halfway line, back into their own half with Lewis Dunk on the ball. He'll pick out Dan Burn, who's not looked the steadiest of defenders in that first half, bringing down Virtue for that Garbett free kick by the byline. But it's Brighton who have the ball on the far side, dink into the box, which Blackpool haven't followed. Tau, whose ball into the box. It's come off the back of Garbett, I think, or Robson, should I say, on that far side. It's going to be a corner to the hosts.
Yeah, again, we've seen in the first half that Brighton have looked dangerous from corners. We've not been picking up. We've got to make sure, this is what we were talking about just before, got to make sure that we don't make the type of mistakes that could lead to Brighton re-establishing the lead.
Ball into the box. Blackpool, like I said, not dealt with corners well, and Maxwell scrambles across his goal line to get to that one, and it looks like MJ Williams has taken a little touch
that
there.
Doesn't look good, that, does it?
Looks fine there, and then all of a sudden we'll have to watch this replay, the second replay. Does he get... There's no touch, is there? He's holding his right knee, which maybe just jarred it, but I'm sure the best thing to do is keep it moving, and him and the Blackpool goal scorer, Gary Medina, having a bit of a joke and a laugh in there, but it's Webster who's come off the worst there with a blood-cut eye on his left side, and the physio for Brighton will be patching him up. He's looked dangerous, but not sure what maybe boots to the face there. We can't tell on that angle, but he's going to be at treatment. So we're 48-45 in the game. If we do need to pause it to keep people in sync, we'll try and do that as well. But it's Brighton are going to have some players warming up early in the second half. I think that's Solly March, the Brighton number 20. But yeah, a breaking player, which we didn't think we'd be getting too early on. Trying to think what we're going to say now. Obviously, we talked about FA Cup finals before. On here, obviously, Blackpool have got to 3. Maybe it's not a typo. Brighton got to 1. Obviously, you spoke about on the football focused interview you did today with the BBC, and you talked about that game, how it wasn't the Matthews final, it was the Mortensen one, and it's the player that maybe with his dribbling skills and assists that gets the credit, not the goal scorer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great little stat for Blackpool fans, isn't it? That we've still got the only player who's ever scored a hat trick in an FA Cup final. It's a record that's coming up its 70th anniversary, and long may it continue. Interesting as well. To use my expression, those of a certain vintage will remember Brighton in the cup final in 1983. Those were back in the days when literally both channels, ITV and BBC, did full day commentary, never mind full match commentary. And, used to have a FA Cup, it's a knockout and all sorts. So, so it's great memories of that. Really, from the point of view of, there was a great little situation at the end where it was 2-2 and Brighton could have won it, and Gordon Smith, who was the striker, has never quite lived down the fact that he didn't finish finish in the last seconds of the game, which would have been Brighton's one and only FA Cup win. That was their only appearance to date in the final, and so it takes you back. And
loose there from Blackpool, and Tao doesn't really know what to do, and Husband managed to scramble away but not clear the ball. Strike from 18 yards, and Brighton, must admit, I didn't think the game started as quickly as that, but they can't get themselves out. Player offside there if he touches it, but he again, that one at Manchester City involving Aston Villa springs to mind there, where he's in an offside position waiting for a mistake, but he's not got it, and Burn will chase that one down. 51-12 on the clock. We've paused it for another 5 seconds to hopefully help those who are watching it on the stream, but Ekpiteta there got caught out, but it's a good job. Tao hasn't had too many matches for his experience. I think he does a lot better in that one. And talking back to Brighton, obviously that's the only FA Cup they've reached, and the famous line that Peter Jones used, the commentator, was, "And Smith must score."
Yes. In fact, I think there's a few podcasts and the like, and in the fast fanzines that had that as the title, because it's almost up there with they think it's all over in sort of football legends, because I think he was actually quite surprised. It was Michael Robinson who played him through, and I don't think he was expecting it, because Michael Robinson was known to be a bit greedy. And I think it's career defining.
Ball in the box, and Medine can't quite get there, and he's expecting someone to be behind him and back him. I think if they are, they've got an easy tap in. That's a great chance for Blackpool, and Brighton just on the ropes a little bit there.
Yeah, no, it's it was a bit unlucky, and we're looking a bit. This is good for Blackpool. If we take the game to them a little bit, try and keep it in their half, then we get past that 60-minute mark, as I said. But we if we can sneak a goal and get ourselves into the lead in this game, then it'll be interesting to see how Brighton react to that, because they won't be expecting it. That's for certain.
Yeah, definitely got a few Percy Tau supporters in the Seasiders podcast chat this afternoon. Again, great to have so many fans from both teams listening. And Christopher Heaney has got a comment here, a nice comment, to be fair. He says, "My niece is also Morty's niece, a very proud family connection." So that's Christopher Heaney there. We'll leave that comment on the screen. 53-15 on the clock at the Amex Stadium. Brighton looking for possession on that far side, and David Proper can't quite keep the ball in, and Blackpool will take a quick throw in with James Husband on that far side, and Blackpool, like I said, come out of the traps well, and that's commentator's curse there. Tau with options to his left, and Ekpiteta there does well, just to read it and not allow Shaqiri the chance to get in front, and Gabriel does a great turn there, just off balance, but the referee, I'm sure, will play advantage and bringing it back if Blackpool lose the ball, and he's certainly done that at the referee, Darren England. 14 games this season he's been in charge of, handing out 37 yellow cards and 1 red card, and that came in the Coventry versus Blackburn Rovers game back on the 24th of October, and last refereed a Brighton game on the 13th of Jan in their 1-0 defeat away defeat against Manchester City. And it was a number of years ago, but until he's been in charge of a Blackpool game. His last outing with the tangerine shirts on the pitch was the League Two playoff final back on the 28th of May 2017, the game where Blackpool won promotion by beating Exeter 2-0, thanks to goals from Brad Potts and Mark Cullen. So a number of years between his last game there. So an interesting stat for those people who enjoy them.
Yeah, we just got to watch ourselves, Blackpool, here with Williams there. That's the type of mistake that I was talking about as we start the second half that could have proved quite costly. And to be fair, I thought Marv did a great job in covering. But we cannot afford mistakes like that.
It's a great save there by Maxwell. Sorry to interrupt. McAllister, dangerous player in that number 10 role, just got the ball onto his right foot. We'll switch into the replay now. Basumo does really well, but pulls it. Is it McAllister? It looks like it's
a good save from Maxwell, to be fair, as well. I think it may have been going wide. We can't quite tell from there, but he doesn't know that, and he did what he needed to do and touched it round the post.
55-34 on the clock. Brighton corner on the far side. Brighton 1, Blackpool 1, as you can see above our heads. But it's ball whipped into the near post. It's headed by Webster, and it comes off I believe, a Blackpool player to go out for another corner. And I think the defender's got his way there. We'll just have a look at this. Arms all over him. He's got to be careful. And I think it just comes off the back of Blackpool's 21.
His husband,
Marvin
isn't it?
Ekpiteta.
Husband as well, who's had his arms around him there.
Got to be careful, especially if VAR is being used. Obviously, we've turned down our audio, but I do believe that any Premier League ground or ground that has the potential to use it, they will be using it, which for me is a bit unfair. But a Brighton corner whipped in, penalty area, eludes Lewis Dunk, but it's picked up by, I think it's Veltman on this near side, who's come across to give a team some the ball back again, but it's Webster, the player who's just been stitched up. 56.5 minutes played. Brighton 1, Blackpool 1. Tau now on the ball, toying with husband as Thornley clears the ball away with a low header. Tau again, just on the edge of the Blackpool 18-yard box. Ball whipped in. Thornley with a clearance. Virtue the second time round, and Medine holding players up. There, Tim, he's probably got to find Virtue there, hasn't he? And then go and find space himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone blind there, hasn't he, by trying to take it over the back of his shoulder and keep it simple and keep possession. That's what we've got to be looking to do because, we don't want to, keep saying this, but we don't want to get ourselves punished too early on in the game.
Chance maybe for Brighton. Tau, I think it's Tau in the midfield there. No, it's not. It's Basumo, the Brighton goal scorer. Very similar boots from a distance. Strike, no. That's just unfortunate. Goal for Brighton. We're 2-1 to the Seagulls, and you have to say that's very unlucky for Blackpool. We're not sure who he got a touch off, but you have to say it's very unfortunate for Blackpool, and especially Chris Maxwell he's going to see the shot here. We'll see from behind the goal camera. It looks like he's comfortably saving this one. It's going wide, in fact.
It was going wide completely.
Wow.
It's cruel that. It was a relatively innocuous shot that's just taken a wicked deflection and completely changed the trajectory of the ball. And wrong-footed Maxwell. I mean, Maxwell had it covered. If it was ever good, I don't think it was even going to come on target, as you said, was it? So that's just not what Blackpool need. You can deal with the first goal and accept it and give them plaudits, but when the opposition scores a goal like that, then it's very cruel.
Sorry, it's Alzate who scored. I'll correct me there. I thought it panned to McAllister on the goal, so I'll correct that. But
was he not the person who it looked like it was deflection? It was deflection. I think we thought it was a deflection off a Blackpool defender, but I actually think it was a deflection off a Brighton striker. So that's probably who the goal scorer is.
Well, if you're Gary Lineker and you watch Match of the Day, he takes those goals any day, and every goal counts. It's McAllister, I think, it picks the ball there. Number 10. Yeah, it comes off Alzate's back there. Very lucky. You can't do much about that. And Blackpool find themselves now 2-1 down. Can they get themselves back into this FA Cup tie? Jordan Fleming said super unlucky there, and probably taking the words out of my mouth there. Jordan, that shot's going definitely wide of Maxwell's left-hand post. He's got it covered. But it looks like Brighton are going to make two changes. Solly March coming onto the field of play, but it might change if they grab a third. But Thornley, I think, there does really well to hold the play out. It's come off a Brighton foot there for a Blackpool throw.
I think the important thing from Blackpool's perspective is to keep heads up on that because you can't legislate for that. It's just very, very unfortunate and not particularly a fair reflection of the way we've come out in the second half.
I thought you were going to carry on there, but it's a nice link-up play. It's McAllister now on his left foot, strike at goal, and Ekpiteta closes down, but Sumo with another long-range shot, but it's high over Chris Maxwell's crossbar, but a great interchange of play there, you have to say, by the Seagulls. First shot blocked, and the second, Maxwell's seen that all the way. Tusmelo, David Maga, watching from South Africa, so welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying it and watching the mighty Seasiders in this game. But it looks like Brighton are going to make three changes. Neil Mope coming on the field for McAllister, the player who will get the assist for the goal, Brighton's second goal. I have to make sure of these other changes as well. Trossard, I believe, is number 11 for Brighton, will come onto the field of play.
He's a big unit, isn't he, Mopane?
Yeah, he likes to run in the channels and keep hold. And the other player to come on for Brighton is Sully March. So we'll confirm the changes with you. You might have to look on the social media page, but I think that's the goal scorer, Alzate, coming off the field of play for Brighton, as well as Tau as well. So he's come off the field of play, replaced by Trossard. Write those down, otherwise I will get confused with who's on the pitch and who's not. But Brighton looking to keep possession here as the goalkeeper goes long to try and get Brighton inside Blackpool's half, and Ekpiteta does well first off, and Williams does the second bit, but can't keep the ball quite in play. And now we've seen Brighton make a change. We know that Neil Critchley sometimes leaves it late, but 2-1 down in this game. Is it a chance for him to make a change and even go for it even more?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Critch does from here, because as you say, he has this propensity to bring multiple subs on at the same time, and not something I'm a great fan of, because I think it has too much of an adverse impact on the way in which the team sets up for the first 5 or 10 minutes as players settle down. But yeah, we're going to have to see. I mean, the difficulty he's got, I suppose, with the forward positions is, you've got 2 very strong players for us there, and they've been working hard. Although we haven't seen as much perhaps of Yates this half as we did in the first. Obviously, we've got Sims on the bench, who's just signed for us on loan from Everton, who has a fantastic scoring record in under 18 and under 23 football. Whether that's something he can bring into the men's game, we'll have to see. But yeah, I probably, if I was Critchley, I wouldn't be changing it just yet. I think he's probably got something close to his strongest 11 on the pitch, and I think unless there's an injury or it's clear that somebody's tiring, you've got to think about extra time as well, potentially, if we can get ourselves back in the game. And yeah, I think I would keep it as it is for the next 10 or 15 minutes and then review from there.
Just gone past the 63rd minute of the game. Brighton 2, Blackpool 1 for people who are asking in the stream. But we've also got the little score card in the middle of our graphic. So any score updates will be given on that. An interesting stat for Ellis Sims was, I think it was in the 17-18 season, or the year after, that he scored 46 goals in a season. It's a great stat, and I must admit I've not watched him or know too much about him, but he seems that player that Blackpool might need to maybe run in the channels a little bit more and be that player who runs off the defensive line.
Yeah, one of the problems obviously Blackpool have had as a team all season is the amount of goals we do score, averaging perhaps 1 a game. And if we want to get ourselves up in the league and progress in the cup competitions, we need players who can find the back of the net, and most certainly in youth football and in the under 23s, Sims looks like he knows where the goal is, and it'll be interesting to see whether he's given a chance today, and if so, whether he takes it.
Yeah, Blackpool is not keeping the possession up top. Medine got hold of it there, but it's just bounced off the striker and allows Brighton to get forward. But it's Trossard with a nice turn in the middle of the park. Definitely Brighton have got probably their starting 11 on the pitch, bar 1 or 2 players who might be playing at the back, but near enough a strong team. And as we've said, they've got an important game on Wednesday. So maybe the manager's thinking, give those players who are going to play in midweek some game time and get the legs going, I guess you say, to win that game. A 6-pointer, as people have said, and Kieran in the stream or preview from Thursday. If you've not listened to that, definitely head over to the Seasiders podcast. You can listen to just an audio version or catch it on YouTube if you listen on here. So go to our latest videos and you'll find it not too long ago. A comment here from Henry whilst Brighton have got the ball. He says Thornley looks comfortable on the ball and he's taking his chance. And Timmy's not done much wrong, you have to say, in this game.
No, and I think he's got a pedigree as Jordan. He's played a reasonable amount of Championship football, and I think probably it's a bit of a surprise that we haven't seen more of him in a Blackpool shirt. And good luck to the lad. If he takes his chance today and gets himself back in Critchley's plans, then hopefully that suggestion that he was available to move on will be rescinded. I'm just dealing with the substitution point. I mean, probably here we go. Actually, Sims is coming on, and Yates is coming off. We'd said Yates has had a quiet second half. I'm still quite surprised he's come off. I was just actually about to say I thought Williams looked like he was blowing a bit, and but that obviously would involve a sort of rejigging of the formation. So good luck, Sims, and let's see what you can do.
Yeah, that's just to confirm the change there in the 67th minute of the game. Blackpool taking off Jerry Yates. And just as I was flicking through here, Blackpool nearly give the ball to Brighton in a dangerous area. Shawnee Boothie has left a comment in the chat saying, never understood why Thornley wasn't given a chance. And I guess sometimes managers have their own ideas and players they want to bring in, but he's definitely put himself in the manager's thoughts going forward. At Blackpool, their first change in the afternoon, and they've got to get the ball a little bit quicker up to the Blackpool front line if they can definitely cause some Brighton some problems. The Seagulls, Tim, have spent 21.15 million this summer on transfers. Did receive 18.5 for the players that they sold on, including, I think it was 10 million for Knockout, who've gone to Fulham on a permanent deal. But you can see why they're up there, and you're bringing on players of their nature. Sully March is one of those, and Mopay. They're going for it, aren't they? They don't want to be knocked out by a League One team.
Yeah, I mean, this is where you see the difference, isn't it? We're bringing on, no disrespect to Ellis, but it's his first competitive game for any team, and they're bringing on lads who've got real pedigree, aren't they? So, but it was ever so, and it's part of the fun of the cup, isn't it? That obviously there's when you looking to match up squads, that there can be huge differences, but when you actually get 11 against 11, there's still the chance for an upset, and the chance for the the relative minnow, which is us in this case, to cause a surprise.
Just for those who are wanting a time, we are 67, 68 now, 68, 02, 03, 04, 05. So keepers coming out here. Maxwell rushing out, maybe rush of blood as well, I think, in his terms, but he's won his side a free kick right by the byline. So anyone who's trying to stream it, we've paused it our end for 10 seconds at half time and the start of the second half. So it's 68, 22, 23, 24, 25. So hopefully that brings people up to speed. Taylor has left a comment as well. Arteta always seems to get flustered and caught out when playing out from the back. And again, we've got to understand that he's come from League Two last season. He's making that step up to League One for the first time in his career. And at this level, the reason why players are in League One, I'm not saying every player, is the reason that they're not consistent enough. And we've got to give Marv Arteta a lot of credit, because from the start, he looked a bit nervous, but he's assured himself in the back line.
He certainly has, and I think he's a player who's really benefited from playing, I think, with the likes of Ballard and Gretterson, and I think it's brought his game on unbelievably. And he's now one of the first names on the team sheet, and long may that continue, because he's been in a credit to Blackpool since we signed him. And it just shows how you get players playing with the right type of player with them, and how much that can have a positive impact on the way that they play.
Definitely. Brighton just keeping possession, 69.5 minutes played in this game, just over 20 to go until the final whistle. Can Blackpool find themselves an equaliser to take this tie to extra time? They did it against West Brom in the third round, knocking Sam Allardyce's side out on penalties by winning 3-2. A chance here for Brighton, but at the touch by, I think it was Mopay, just wasn't controlled enough for his liking to maybe get a chance at goal. But we have just hit the 70-minute mark, so people try and sync up if you can. If we need to pause it, we will do our end. Colin Mabone says, another person watching from South Africa. Nice, keep it coming. So cheers for the comments, and anything that happens in the game that you don't agree with or want your say, do leave it in the chat. And those who are a regular to the Seasiders podcast, we will still be doing our post-match review at 6 p.m. So stay tuned. It's been a busy day for the Seasiders podcast as we give you our first match day live show.
Yeah, just for the benefit of people who haven't tuned in before, and like Sam said, it's great that we've got an international flavour today. If you want to rejoin us once we finish today at 6 p.m, there is a post-match analysis, an opportunity to have your say, and it'd be good to see some new faces on there.
Certainly would do. A strong tackle by Gabriel there. It's a tackle we don't normally see too much in the game, and Solly March just feeling that one, but a fair and fine tackle from the Nottingham Forest low knees. There's a little bit, he's not in the arms, get up. Don't like that when players start diving on the floor, trying to get the referee or someone sent off. It's completely out of the form of the game, but Blackpool regroup the ball here and try and play out, and you've got to say they've done really well there, and it's gone out to Garbett. He looks to try and enter the Brighton half, which he does do. He's got Sims down the line for him, but he's not going to get the ball this time as Robson looks for that long ball to Medine, and that's poor, and that's not going to get Blackpool back to this game if they're going to play that style of football.
No, we've got ourselves a decent bit of possession there, and probably with Ellis there, I think maybe he could have looked for a little bit more space to receive it. I don't think he gave us a particularly good angle for him. And again, that again, he's finding his feet, isn't he? It's his first few minutes on the pitch. It's a new team. It's a different standard of football completely to what he's been used to. And hopefully as he settles down, we'll start to see him run the channels and hopefully create some space for himself.
I believe they were checking VAR. I don't know how many games Blackpool have been involved where VAR has been at the game, but they're just checking that MJ Williams tackle or off the ball incident, should we say, with Basumo there. It's only an arm, I think. It wasn't in his face. It looked like it was on his shoulder or at worst, and I think he's offside there, but they'll play on and try and play this instance, which I don't agree with that one. And now the referee's flag goes up unless Blackpool can break, which is pulled back. And Tim, we've had even former Premier League players saying that they don't like this rule because if you're offside, you're offside, and it could lead to players potentially going through and goal, getting injured by a tackle which isn't needed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, talking about VAR, I think Blackpool fans would have been quite happy to see that in the 2010-2011 season, because I think we'd have stayed up with the benefit of VAR. Because I think there was quite a few goals given against Blackpool that weren't, and I always think of that Man United
the
penalty incident when we were 2-0 up, which would have completely changed the flow of the game afterwards. So, but there we are. I mean, VAR is a bit Marmite, isn't it? There's some very strange decisions made and some very strange applications of the rule. For me, it should be there to assist and not to dictate. And it's very, very strange when you see a situation like that develop.
Yeah, it certainly is a few. I think West Ham away, I think Harewood puts the ball in the back of net, ruled for offside when it was another tangerine body who's in front of him and in line on the linesman, and he puts his flag up. But again, that was over 10 years ago, so we can't look too back. In Blackpool in League One now, trying to work their way back up the English pyramid, shall we say, and I'm sure under the guidance of Simon Sadler, the new Blackpool owner. He's been in charge for nearly 2 years now. Hopefully he can guide us back to some glory days as Brighton inside Blackpool's penalty area, pulled back to the edge of the box to, I think it was David Propper, but it doesn't reach him, and a touch there by Medine looks a little bit heavy, but Garbett manages to get onto it, and again, closed down by the Brighton full-back Veltman, who's gone down there after the heavy tackle. We've got, again, Webster Zimmy watching from Lusaka in Zambia. So we're definitely going international today. So I think the word FA Cup is trending on YouTube and wherever else. So that's great to see. And it looks like Blackpool and Brighton are going to make a change. 74-40 on the clock. 41, 42, 43 for those who want to sink in. Looks like Sarkic for Blackpool will come onto the field of play. I'm guessing he'll replace Williams or someone of that nature, but it's Gabriel now who's entered the Brighton third, but goes back to Williams on this in the middle of the pitch and switched that. Again, he could have played that a bit easy to Garbett, but he's running through now. And Blackpool just keep in possession, trying to work Brighton like Brighton have done to Blackpool in this game. And Gabriel, I think there's another foul there, but Sims does well to link up the play. It's fallen back. It's a loose ball, but Williams does well to... I thought he did well initially from the camera angle to find Garbett, but looks like Garbett can't keep that one in. And
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who goes off for it.
And Labala as well is coming on. So 2 changes for Blackpool this afternoon with three.
Here we go. This is our
for the fourth to pop up.
This is our usual modus operandi, isn't it? In that we make multiple subs, and it'd be interesting to see how we react to that, because having just bought Sims on 4 changes, I'll be a little bit concerned as to how we're gonna sort of knit in together in the short term, and those players who aren't being hooked really need to step up to the plate. So it wouldn't even surprise me if I see a formation change here, because as we see players come on and we see what positions they take up, it wouldn't surprise me if we go to a 4-4-2 from here.
We'll confirm how Blackpool have made the changes, but it looks like Labala, Sarkic coming on the field of play. Is there another one being made? I think Medine's gone off definitely for Sarkic, which again a big game coming in midweek for Blackpool at home to. Oh, are they away? Have I got my fixtures mixed up?
Looks like Thornley's. Looks like it. I think we're right. We're going to 4-4-2 because Thornley's just been subbed. It looks like, and so it looks like we're going to a flat back 4. I would assume in that scenario we've got Husband's going to be part of the centre back partnership with Garbutt staying left.
Gabriel coming back a little bit deeper into
we can presumably see Labala on the left, or Kaikai on the left side, probably Labala on the right, and Sarkic and Sims up front, I would have thought.
Yeah, it looks like that's the way he's gone for. So Virtue, Medina and Thornley off with Labala coming onto the field of play, Sully Kaikai and also Ollie Sarkic. So we'll just have to make sure we get all these right on the sheet of paper, because obviously he's got his goal, Gary Medina. We see him walking off the pitch here on the 77th and 45 on the clock. A good performance from him, but is the manager maybe thinking ahead in terms of key games coming up?
I think, we've got Wigan, haven't we, on Tuesday night, and if we want to do anything in the league this season, we need to get back into our winning ways, and Medine's been a big player for us in the league, and I think there'll be a bit of that in Critchley's thought process.
We'll see how the substitutes do with just under 12 minutes to go, plus added on time. And Brighton, you have to say, haven't really threatened Blackpool, bar that deflected effort from Elzate that found its way in the back of the net after McAllister's shot. But it's going to be Sully March now on this near side as Jordan Gabriel looks to close him down, not allowing him that cross. He's definitely got the ability to put it on the sixpence for the Mope, which the ball comes in the box. I think Husband gets a touch on it to send it away from goal, but it's Veltman now who looks to get the ball and doesn't use the midfielder, but it's a ball deep to the far post. Gabriel's got to deal with this, and March closing him down, and Kaikai just got to keep the ball simple. Don't do anything stupid at the back here. If you can win your team a throw-in, it gives yourself a bit of a break, but he gives the ball back to Bisumo, the central defender for Brighton. 79 minutes gone, and we're sitting the 8, 9, 10 seconds into that minute as Brighton push forward and try and get that third goal, which could be the killer in this game. And Christopher Heaney, he said Thornley has played very well today, so he's definitely done his credentials well in terms of cementing a place in the starting team for Blackpool's next fixture, which I actually think is away at Wigan on Tuesday, having just seen my notes. So a chance here for Brighton, but it's Ekpiteta who clears the ball away from danger.
We're looking a bit ragged again, Blackpool, at the moment, and this is a concern. Obviously, when you do make as many subs as you do at the same time, is that people are the lads who've been on the pitch already aren't quite sure where everybody's who's coming on is playing, and you've got to get your shape back, you've got to get your discipline back, and we need to do that. If we want to get anything out of this game, obviously we've got just over 10 minutes. We need to do that sooner rather than later.
Certainly do. And we look at the bench. We've probably made the 3 subs that you would have thought would make potentially if the game was still alive, which it certainly is with 10 minutes to go. But you look on there's so many youngsters for Blackpool, and I think some of them in the areas we've already made changes, but maybe a chance here for Brighton. But credit to Maxwell there for being on his toes, because Mopé was lurking there in the edge of the box to try and seal the victory and place Brighton into it. But it would be great to see maybe one or two of the youngsters get on. I know you've made those changes. The game's still there to be won, I guess, but a great experience, none of the less for those youngsters. Making the trip down to Brighton and even to be in that atmosphere, in that arena, is one that they'll never forget.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll feel 10 feet tall today, won't they? Just even being involved with the first team. We don't know. If we get ourselves back into this game and we go into extra time, then we might yet see one of them on the pitch. And but yeah, just it's all about, these are young lads. They're 18 years old, and hopefully they've got great careers in front of them. And I'm fully expecting that we'll see one, if not two of them, make the first team before the end of the season.
Yeah, the thing with this changing from a 5 at the back to 4 is the little gaps come open, and Premier League players can exploit you if they can. But the ball pulls the ball back to Sims, but it's well read there by Lewis Dunk, the Brighton captain, who plays the ball to Proper, who looks to go down the line, and it's somehow kept in. And now I've got Marv's has got to be in the area. It's pulled back to Mopé, who strikes at goal first time. It's saved by Maxwell. Does he get a second chance? No, he doesn't. And you have to say that's a great chance for the host to kill the game off and make it 3-1. And you've got to say Blackpool's got cut out there.
Yeah, we did. I mean, obviously Garbett was looking over his shoulder, expecting there to be some cover there, wasn't he? And there was nobody there. And again, this is part of the transition from the 3 centre backs to the 2 means that there's going to, if you've got Garbett, who's been playing very high up the pitch, he's having to adjust to, he's now the left back. And if he's caught over the halfway line, the reality is there ain't going to be anybody behind him.
Definitely. And Husband has to come across, leaving gaps in the middle. Shawnee Booby says, great save. It certainly was. One that was at him. He was going to hit his body, but he still has to be there to prevent the 3rd goal going in, and probably the decisive goal. But Brighton just finding a few more spaces here with Blackpool's changing formation. 82-40 on the clock now as Basumo picks up the ball about 20 yards from goal. March now on the near side of the 18-yard box, driving at Gabriel, puts his hands up, twists and turns. Can he get that ball in the box? Only 3 Brighton bodies in there. Strike at goal here from range, but it's over the crossbar from Pascal Gross. He's looking to kill the game off for the Seagulls, but Brighton haven't done that.
I've got to say, I think Gabriel, in his defensive duties, has done very well today, and he stood up there, didn't commit himself, and forced the Brighton attack to play the ball inside rather than getting right down the line. And every credit to him.
Just looking at the stats there, if people are watching the stream, we'll come back to that, I think, if I remember the stats. But chance here for Brighton and Mopé, but crowded out by Robson and Williams, I think, I thought he just dwelled on the ball a bit there. But Brighton, just seeing the stat there, 17 shots in the game, only 3 on target. Again, it's not like Blackpool have been outplayed in that sense of the game, attacking-wise, but they've conceded a stunning goal in the first half, and one that's come off the striker's back, not knowing too much about it in the second half. And they're the only real key chances that come spring to mind, bar maybe the 2 free headers that they had in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you were Neil Critchley, had but for that, wickedly deflected shot, you'd be quite pleased. I don't think we've been the attacking threat in this half that we were in the first, but you'd be quite pleased that you'd kept Brighton down to the minimum number of chances, wouldn't you? But my slight concern is I've not seen much in an attacking sense from Blackpool since we've made these substitutions, and we really need to start thinking about that. Time, the clock's against us, and Brighton will be quite happy for the clock to tick down.
I guess if you're in a cup competition that if you lose and you've got nothing to gain by being defensive, you may as well go for it and take the game to extra time, or even go and win it if you can. But Blackpool have got a throw in on the 84, 51, 52, 53 minute of the game. I said midway inside Brighton's half as Graham Potter, the Brighton manager, looks on, looking at his watch, seeing if he can get his 6th win of the season in all competitions. Only 3 in the Premier League, 1 in another cup competition. Will he get his 6th one this afternoon against the Seaside, as it's only just over or just under 5 minutes away from potentially getting that win? A big psychological boost for Brighton if they can pick up the win this afternoon and progress to the 5th round, but Basuma does really well there just to hold off the 2 Blackpool players. Just got a comment in here, Tim. It's Dren. He said, "Come on, Brighton, one more goal and I'll be rich." So I'm guessing he had 3-1 to Brighton, and he might get this here with a chance. Pulled back. Oh, it just eludes the 2 Brighton midfielders, and Blackpool clear the lines. Was that the chance, Dren? We don't know.
Yeah, it was. They didn't make the most of that, did they? They got themselves into a good position. I think if they'd found feet there, then we would have been in trouble.
I think he's offside there. Linesman looked like he was going to put his flag up at some point. Again, that thing where
it's so late, isn't it? We're looking right across at the linesman for those who aren't seeing the game, and he keeps his flag down, and we think maybe he's not offside, and then belatedly it goes up. That's when it should have gone up, shouldn't it? Why is the flag not going up at that point?
I know that they're told to do it due to VR, because if they stop the game and the ball goes in the back of the net and it was onside, they check it, the goal completely is disallowed, where if they play on, see the goal or that attack played, they can then bring it back to see these one. And Chris is having a bit of a banter here, saying Graham Potter's checking his watch, wanting a time check off us. So at 86-45, 46 as Brighton attack. Now it's on to Sully March on this left side, probably looking towards go across goal, puts on his right foot and it goes well wide, you have to say, of Chris Maxwell's left-hand post, right, as we're looking at it. But just the 87 now on the clock for Chris there.
He's going to be a bit disappointed there, hasn't he? Because he's got himself in a good position. He's cut inside, and he's
never wrapped his foot around, has he?
No, it's gone very, probably 10 yards wide of the goal, and he's only 10 yards out.
Can Blackpool get a second equaliser in this game to take it to extra time? Have they got the legs to get there? We'll have to see. But Sims comes short, gets caught, I thought, and
bit unlucky there. I thought it looked like his heels were clipped there.
Where's VAR when you need it? It's Mopay now looking to drive at the Blackpool defence. You can see Blackpool are tiring as Brighton whipping the ball to the far post, but that is poor from even Premier League standards.
We've seen a few of those, haven't we, where they've put the ball in with far too much on it, and if that was a Blackpool player doing that, would be very, very disappointed. But yeah, this is my concern. The clock's coming down. We've not tested the keeper at all. We've not even really got into their penalty area, and we need to try and do it sooner rather than later.
To see again that change in shape, it does cause some confusion, but I've got to say it's one game where you look at that in hindsight, you can look back and go, it's a game where we could have won and progressed through to the 5th round. The Brighton haven't been anything special, where you think Premier League side, they've kept possession in these areas, which if you're watching the game now in their own third, but going forward, they've not been the team that maybe I thought they were going to be, being a Premier League side.
No, I think you can see where Brighton's deficiencies are, and I think it was a stat that they'd only won 3 in 2020 at home, and you can probably see that it's their it's how they deal with things when they get into that last third that's causing the issues. They've plenty of possession in the middle of the park, are very, very comfortable in their back third, but perhaps lacking that firepower.
Definitely spent the money to bring in the firepower, and Bison's 1973 says nothing to lose yet. We're still playing on the back foot, just need to launch it upfield and see if Blackpool will do that. I'm sure there's going to be at least 3 to 4 minutes added on due to the substitutes. We'll see if I'm right on that one. I got the 1 minute right in the first half. We'll see in just around 30 seconds time whether the 4th official agrees, but it's Proper who shows his quality there with a nice touch. I don't know if he strayed offside originally, but the linesman's kept his flag down. We'll see if it's brought back as a goal, but ball into the box, and a chance there. I think it's for Pascal Gross to really kill the game off late in the game, but it doesn't get the connection he wants, and he just pulls off Ekpiteta there, doesn't he? He thinks he's behind him, and then he makes that really positive run.
He's got himself into a great position, and then really just not connected properly. So he's going to be disappointed with that.
Blackpool, 4 minutes added on by the 4th official. Can they get themselves back into this game and take it to extra time? They look very legged, Blackpool, you have to say, but again, it's a big pitch down at the MX and chance for Brighton maybe, but it's gone over Gross there. It's, like I said, big pitch. It looks great condition, saying the kind of conditions we've had recently. Header towards the back post.
It's a great save.
Reflex save by Maxwell. It's pulled. Basuma wants to get a second of the goal with a great strike, and just like one of his first efforts, and one in the second half, it ends up in the stands where fans would have been. But that's a great. I don't think he sees it late. I think I have to watch the replay here. But it's a good ball pulled back. I think he's headed. I think he's expecting Husband to stick a leg out there, which makes him make that move late. But pulled off some fantastic savers, Maxwell, in this game, especially that kind of point blank range one and that kind of reaction save there.
That's a top drawer save, that, because it's a last minute reaction. He's got a full hand on it and made sure it's been turned away. I think the problem for Blackpool is I don't think the substitutions have really worked for us in any shape or form. I think particularly in the forward positions, we're just not holding the ball up at all. And where we have Yates and Medina who will make the best of.
I saw he got blocked off there, did Sim? Sorry, but
I was just going to say where they were holding the ball up for us and bringing people in. Really, it's now just coming straight back at us, and any initiative that we have is quickly being snuffed out.
Also, we've got just around 2 minutes. Bison's has got his man of the match in Tim, which we'll come to shortly. But if I was to ask you, who's been your kind of standout player for Blackpool this game, who would you go for?
I think Maxwell's had a great game with a couple of very decent saves, and I think Gabriel. I think probably Gabriel for me, who I think he's really he's stood up to the attacks. He's defended well. He hasn't been able to perhaps get us forward as much as I perhaps thought he would do in the first half, but I think he's had a very, very solid performance, and he's probably I think just about my man of the match.
Free kick there. I think the referee is given for Blackpool deep inside their half. Just probably say 90 seconds. We're on 92, 23, 24, 25 as Brighton lead narrowly by 2-1 in the FA Cup. Fourth round tie between the two seaside resorts. Can Blackpool get a late one in this half, just like they did in the first? But it's Brighton who clear the ball away, and you can't foul him in these areas. You've got to, let him go. You don't want to kind of break the play up. But it's Brighton who will look to go. I'm not sure if he's offside, but Maxwell does well to find Garbutt wearing the 29 shirt. Just over a minute to play for Blackpool in this game. We'll see if they can get one back into it. Would be just as good to do, but like I said, they've not had the attacking threat going forward as they did in the first half, and you take off your target man in Medina, you definitely lose that physicality going forward. But the ball pumped up there. It's poor ball by Blackpool, and just look tired, don't they now, Tim? That they put a lot into this game, but the last 10-15 minutes it showed that.
Yeah, and I think because it keeps coming back in the way that it's doing, the defence and the defensive midfielders aren't getting any time off the ball at all. They're constantly dealing with attack after attack after attack, it really needs some of those forward players to have a better think about how they could actually help the team out here. And
David Proper with the ball, and it's pulled back, and again, no Brighton players gambling to make it 3-1, and I wasn't sure what happened there, but great move and very easy. But you got to give credit to Blackpool in some respects, because Brighton have brought on 3 first-team regulars in the second half, with Mopé being one of them. Trossard, who's been brilliant for Brighton this season and the seasons he's been at the club. So they have been.
Yeah, I think we've probably by our substitutions, I think it's the final whistle now. Yeah. We sort of almost surrendered the game with those. I think if we were going to get something out of this game, we needed to keep Medine and a couple of other players on the pitch.
Well, that is full time as it's finished. Brighton 2, Blackpool 1, as we'll get that on the screen. I know it's above us as well. But again, as I said before, Brighton have put on first-team players to kill the game out, which they certainly have done. But looking back at the game, I'll grab my notes. We'll look back at it now. It's disappointing. I feel like there's a missed opportunity, which you never want to feel in any game, especially cup game, to try and get something. But Brighton, Tim, started off the brighter and got that goal in the 27th minute with Basuma's wonder strike. It was one of those which Maxwell can't do too much with.
Yeah, I think that's probably a bit of quality in the first half gave them the lead, and we can't have too many complaints about that. And then we show our quality. I think just before just before the break with a great move involving Yates, Garbutt, and with a fantastic finish from Medine. And then the second half, probably I don't think we've actually quite done ourselves any any credit, really. Not credit's the wrong word.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think we've done ourselves given our the best showing that we can, and I don't think we've quite settled with that formation change, and we've been chasing the game and really sort of gone out with a little bit of a whimper in the end.
Looking at, obviously, we've been calling out for the 3-5-2 formation. Think of the attacking aspects we've got. Would that give the manager positives going forward that actually we can maybe play this way in League One, knowing that we might keep the ball better against sides of a similar ability to us, should we say, in there? But would that give him hope and the positives going forward? Is that something that he can say, actually, we can play two up top, we can play two wingers really going forward and try and attack teams from the go?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was probably the biggest positive out of the game, in that the way that the players seem comfortable in that system. And I think you've got to bear in mind here, we've got probably 4 or 5 of what would be our ideal starting 11 out for a variety of reasons today. You've got CJ obviously long term out. You've got Gretterson out, Ballard out, Ward out, Dougal out, and a Premier League team might be able to cope with that number of first team players out because of the quality they've got in the squad. But when you're a Division 1 side, there aren't many, I don't think, who could cope with that many players. I mean, that's a fantastic strike. We've just seen it on the replay again to put Brighton 1-0 up. But yeah, that's probably cost us today big style, the fact that we've got so many players out, and our that little bit of quality that we've got in midfield is missing. And I think that when you're playing a Premier League team, you need those players in there to give yourself even half a chance.
Yeah, definitely. I think Dougal would have been superb. A pitch that allows him to get the ball down and play the football. And we're just looking at highlights. If you're still watching the stream on BT, possibly not an iFollow. But again, Blackpool got into it on the 45th minute of the game. A great move down the left. Yates with a back heel to Garbutt, and Garbutt whips in a really nice ball, which we'll see now. Ball, it's I thought it was too far, and he's not put enough on that past to Garbutt, but he's put into such a dangerous area, which is calling for an attacker to hit that area. And Medine certainly does that. Yeah,
I mean, that shows Blackpool's attacking play at its best, doesn't it? It's people using their initiative and putting the foot in where it matters as well. That's what Medine's most certainly his forte is, isn't it? Whether it be his head, or whatever. He's stretched in there and beat the Brighton defender to it and scored a fantastic goal. So he's going to be happy with that tonight. And obviously, as we move into the second half now,
this is their goal, isn't it? Oh no, sorry, that's the save McAllister has, which is
it's a great
save by Maxwell.
Great save by Maxwell. That I said, I think it was actually going slightly wide, but Maxwell doesn't know that. If we see it again, well, maybe not. Maybe it might have snuck in. So even more so, Maxwell, fantastic for that. It's a big thumbs up for him.
I think this is potentially the goal. I'm trying to think because I'll have to watch. But this, again, very unlucky, I have to say, that the shot comes in from 25, 30 yards, going wide from the angle behind the goal, which people might have seen. And it's nothing Maxwell can do, really. It's Blackpool players, Hampton. Just watch it from this angle. Again, Byrne does well to recycle it back to McAllister. Even there, it looks like it's going towards the pole, isn't
He's
it?
gone to his left, hasn't he? You can see where it's going. It was going wide, but he's gone to cover just to be on the safe side, and then got completely wrong-footed. And there's just nothing he could. There's no criticism of Maxwell in there at all. That's just if you're ever going to beat a Premier League side, you do not need that to go against you, do you?
Mm-hmm. And again, Maxwell, which Bison said I think was his man of the match. He pulls off a save which you're expecting to save at that close range. I think this angle from behind the goal again helps with that, but he's still got to react and get down. Just watch it. It is straight at him, but I'm going to give him the credit because he has to be there to definitely parry it away. But Brighton had a few chances towards the end, but nothing going forward. And someone says, Dennis Stokovic said Brighton Rezzies. I disagree with you there towards the second half because put a few first team players on, but again, good. Do you think
I would, to be honest, of the two sides, I would have said Blackpool had more of the reserves players out in the second half. than Brighton. I mean, good save there.
Yeah, I can't remember what happens here. I think Basuma goes high and wide again.
Yeah.
But what will Neil? We'll go away from the game now, but we don't want to stay too long because the full and the regular post-match show is on at 6 p.m. So an hour from now, stay tuned and you can listen to John and the guys talk about the game in more depth. But these are our opinions. We might not be on later on. But what will Neil Critchley and I guess Colin Caldwell be saying to his players? That could we have done more? Are they disappointed? Are there more positives than negatives in this game? We're seeing the stats now a little bit.
Yeah, as I said, I think the positives are the way the team cope with the formation change. I think that is very much a positive because what we've struggled Blackpool, I think, is to try and align the way that Critch wants to play his football with the need to try and accommodate Yates and Medina up front, who at the moment are proven to be our most potent strike partnership, and they've done it again today, haven't they? So I think the positive is there is a way of getting 5 in midfield and those 2 up front, and particularly when we've got Gretason, Ballard, and Ekpiteta all fit, I can see that system working really well. But you've still, even if one of them's out, and a Gretason it looks like might be out for a while. I think Husband's done a decent job in that back 3 today. I think he looks more comfortable in the back 3 than he does in the back 2 if he's at centre back. And Ekpiteta seems to be able to adapt to anything. So for me, I think Critch will take away from that with everybody fit, he's got a plan A and a plan B now, which is maybe 3-5-2 and 4-4-2, depending on who's available. The issue will be how he accommodates CJ Hamilton. In that first half formation, could he play him as a wing back and use that pace, because it wouldn't suit him, I don't think, in the same way if he was playing in a more attacking role.
Yes, a few comments here before we sign off. We don't want to be on too long, but Gary Ford's left a few comments in here. He said if we had a full team, we might have not had too many tired legs, which I think was a feature definitely towards the end of the game. Dennis Stokovic, who said about Brighton reserves, he says fair enough with our comments. I agree with the first team and the first 11 that put out, with a few players not having played, but I think he wanted to win really and get that winning mentality back in the side with a big game against Fulham on Wednesday. I think that is 7:30 kickoff, where Blackpool will travel to Wigan on Tuesday night with a 7 o'clock kickoff there. Richard, what? I said, well, wasn't watching the game on telly, didn't need to, just brilliant. First live commentary from the Seasiders podcast. Sam and Tim really enjoyed it. Well played, guys. And it's great to see some of these commentators. Oliver Heaton says the new Sky Sports commentators, Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher and Martin Tyler, all watch out. Richard Hensall says Thornley played well. I certainly agree with that one. And to finish off, John Aspinall said, well done, boys. Superb comms and analysis. So we're going to end it there. The stream's finished on BT Sports just now. We hope you enjoyed it. We've been on stream from start to finish with a pre-match show and full match commentary for 2.5 hours. Go and grab some food, grab a beer, come back for 6 p.m. Same channel on the YouTube, Twitter and Facebook. And make sure you subscribe to the Seasiders podcast and hopefully reach our target of 1,000, because we've just passed 500. So if we can get to that 1,000 target, it means we can do a lot more in terms of streaming and licensing as well. So make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. But from us, we're going to finish off here putting the screen on. But huge thank you for watching, and hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody, and might see you at 6 o'clock.